Right, here we are. Welcome to the invasion, and good hello to you, Scott. Welcome to the invasion session 26. It's the 4th of November 2020. I am Ryan, the GM. Here are some players.
Hi guys, my name is Gregor. I play a dare who is an air genasi who is soon going to be the voice of the group.
Hi, my name's Dylan, and I'm playing as the newly introduced Cass, who seems to be a human bard.
And we wait.
Good evening, my name is Alexander. Tonight I will be playing FleaBite the Skaven, who's still pretty terrible at everything.
Hello.
Good hello.
Yes, good and bad hellos are all welcome here. I am Colin, and tonight I am Vanger. A man, some might even say a dwarf, of the wandering clericy druidy persuasion.
Yeah, some might say. You're right.
Some might say that we've got nothing in common.
Some also might say that too, yeah.
And
Right.
I said, what about breakfast of two?
Do you recognise where they are from, Dylan?
What? Oh, the icons?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, it's from an old TV show called Reboot. One of my favourite TV shows.
I see.
Just keeping it alive.
Not from an old film called Breakfast at Tiffany's?
It is not indeed that, no. Nor is that song from that. It's, you
No,
know,
it's not. It's a reference. The song is referencing the film.
it's a good song though. It's actually a really good song. Very
As I
catchy.
recall, I think we both kind of liked it.
Yeah, sure. So what did you remember from last time, if anything?
Brian doesn't pay.
Something without horses,
Something.
deer.
Anything
We
else?
arrived.
No?
It's Spookyville.
Pretty sure that's everything, really.
We had brunch with
Oh, yeah. I
With
got to
Cass.
teach them what brunch was.
Cass. Full name. I can't remember. Tlan.
Talan,
There you
yeah.
go. Who?
Wanted a
some
box.
sort of-
Warren Canty is going around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is that the
There may or
only
may
thing
not
you
have been a
remember?
coffin.
There may or may not have been a coffin. Well, there's at least a box that could be coffin-like, I guess.
There was or was not a box. I'm leaning towards was.
There better have been a box.
Mhm.
I gotta get paid.
Box or a boxy.
Weirdly, Warren Canty didn't make my notes, strangely. So I'll add that in now. Because we're so good at names.
Did any fava beans make your notes?
No, I'm not even going to engage. So, anyway, let's review the goals that are in play. Yeah, thank you. Whew. It only took how many sessions of us playing together over various games for me just to like go, nope, don't engage. Okay,
Let it wash over you.
general goals. FleaBite, learn how to make this into a tea. Vanger, convince the party to aid the Gith in fighting the Illithid. Find out the circumstances around the big wedding, e.g.e. coerced. I don't know why EGE was there, but there we go. An extra E for use.
Each.
Each. And find out what the package was. Learn about the Von Rune family standing in Evershade. And then some personal goals. Become the face of the group, find a way to reinforce the bag of holding, learn more about entering Barris, save face with Lord Tonan. And those are Adair, FleaBite, Vanger, and Castellan respectively. I'll have to review the recording to line all those up. So, everybody know what they're supposed to be doing to get XP, as my hair decides to travel over my face. So yeah, all good?
All good.
Sure.
Good, good.
Good enough.
I mean, yeah, that's how I feel.
Not just good.
It's good enough.
Good enough.
Again, Simpsons at its finest.
Yep.
Man. So,
Yes. I need to find people with information.
yeah. Also, we're gonna just open straight back up into the final scene because of the cliffhanger FleaBite left us on.
Oh god. Well. Fuck. I've forgotten about that.
I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Trying to figure
You
out
are
which of our
welcome.
rat companions is worse.
I mean, I think FleaBite is actually winning this, not for being worse, but for being in the one timeline.
Yeah, he hasn't ruined history yet. So
He's not
you're
wrecked
ahead on
40
points.
sessions of history
You've not completely derailed the story.
yet.
There's time.
hmm That was Callum's downfall, though. There's
Yeah,
time.
True.
Anyway, for those of you who want to know more,
of it.
go check out those videos. I wonder if that guy ever did. So on Monday, folks, somebody joined our Twitch channel. Bigger001, I think his username was, or their
That's
username.
an interesting name.
Yeah, either it was Big Jer001. I forget. There was no capitalization on a G in the middle.
Did he be
So
very into Rangers?
and that in itself, he asked if there was, or again, they asked if they could go back and watch or how it started. To which Callum linked him to the playlist. And we're like, wow, it's 75 videos, mate. Like, good luck.
He's still watching them now.
I mean, yeah, it is like hundreds of hours of content. But anyway, in this game, for this content, we open up with FleaBite standing on the table, pointing profusely at said bell above the door.
Profoundly, some would say.
You could say that, yeah. I would never. So, who's replying to FleaBite?
I guess that would be me. Let me just get into character real quick as a rat just jumped on my table and pointed at a bell demanding.
First things first, we need this
I
bell.
mean, the rat has been standing on the table eating your food the whole time.
But I served it. I'd be like, you want the bell?
Yes, we need spell.
What will you give me for it? She gets a little bit more confident.
You need help.
Getting that box back, yes?
In find help start, you must give bell.
I can agree to these terms. We'll walk over and unhook the bell, and then toss it to FleaBite.
I'm looking at a deer in some degree of confusion, hoping for an explanation from
him. He does this. He already has Bell. I'm sure you've seen him drink out from Bell.
Aye, he's a...
Yes. I think it is kind of like maybe he's kind of fetish, but I do not wish to really talk about it because I think I would be very uncomfortable with this conversation.
Eee.
But if you are wishing to ask him, then by all means, you can ask him for his reasoning for the bells.
No, I think I'll just leave him to it.
This is what I tend to do. It seems to work better.
Just looking at him with mild concern.
Avoiding eye contact at all times.
Okay.
Well, if that's everything, I'll go and
FleaBite
get Theo Hall for you guys. And then you can be on your way towards Lord Tonan's office.
What was that, FleaBite?
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Just FleaBite would like stuff it into his pack.
I assume you want cloth to jam it up as well, so it doesn't make
Very
noise.
quickly, yeah.
So you don't just jingle as you walk.
Alright, I'll make towards the back. And I'll say, if you'll all wait here, I'll get Theo Paul, and I'm sure he'll take great care of you all. I'll do a little bow as I back away. Disappear into the bag.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, Lady Kiss.
Of course.
While Cass is away fetching their associate, I know, I just want to say their associate. Back off, buddy. I'm mediating. It's okay.
Sorry.
And,
Sorry.
They just want to bitch about Cass while they're away. No, I discuss
When-
the developments that
Nice job. Who would do that?
you now seem to be working with and/or for. Thanks to
Vanger is
FleaBite.
a decidedly non-bitchy character, so Vanger will.
Ah,
will
role
not
playing
be-
this particular game. I see. Colin.
Wagner, do you think we are going to be able to see this lord without the invitation? Or do you think we need to come up with quick excuse to see?
Well, they'll no doubt be interested in these same events that our new associate Cass was. No, if it's his package that's disappeared.
Yes, but I'm wondering if he even has time to see us, let alone does he care that his package is missing? If we do not have, would he see us? He seems like powerful man.
Sounds true enough. Did you have an idea in mind?
I was thinking maybe we should discuss this to try and maybe come up with some sort of plan in case we cannot gain an audience. I'm maybe even pondering name dropping, as they say. As in,
I'm not following name dropping. Who? Sorry.
perhaps name dropping Lord Balaam's name to see if we can get audience.
Is that wise, given you don't necessarily want to alert?
Well, this is why I think we talk, because I am not wanting to just suddenly come out and say.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're looking for input. No, I don't know if I would want to risk blowing his cover, as it were. Is he not rather
Well,
concerned about
that
keeping?
is
on
just
the-
what do we wish to help him, or are we more interested in discovering the box, or are we just trying to find information to get to Dragon Egg?
Personally, not all that fussed about what's in the box unless we have reason to believe it's related to any of our other business. Now, as far as it concerns Lord Cantor, that maybe behoove us to look into it, but if it's purely for its own sake, well, can't say it matters too much to me. Unless, of course, it's
Behooves? We have horses now, yes?
that's not what the word means, friend. I just don't know that I don't know that it is good for us to look into these matters if we're not, if it doesn't relate to anything that we're already involved with. It doesn't do to get sidetracked when we must be close now, surely.
Well, this is thing. No one knows where this place we are trying to get to is. But such a
Well,
man of big
that's
power,
true.
maybe he has information that most people do not.
But we know that it is somewhere in this region, so we're on
That.
the track.
And he is one of oldest families of the Evershades. So he might be best person to actually speak to in regards to. So to maybe try and get on good side, if we do not have these books, we do have information he could be interested in.
Maybe we do.
But I am not wanting to sell out the good Lord, because he did help us in our travel.
Indeed, he did. He was most helpful. and he took quite a battering in the process. But no, my concerns are more practical. We don't know that he's going to be the only one that can tell us anything. We shouldn't jump to that conclusion and end up giving away something that we don't need to.
This is good that we are talking. Then maybe on way to the Lord Kenter, this Theo who is giving us the directions, maybe he is the one to try and get the information from.
Certainly be worth trying.
And can I quickly double check? I've totally forgotten the name of the rumored city that we're trying to find.
You always forget that name.
Terrible
Paris.
with names.
He's a
Paris.
known name forgetter.
I am the same, so thank you.
Actually,
I
I
am the
was
walrus
doing
who
it for
could
his side.
Yeah, that's fine.
Elephant Wakanda. Exactly.
Yes.
And suddenly walks in a young human male, clearly dressed up as a scholar, carrying what seems to be a scheduling book, and looking down at it. You can see him in chat.
Ooh.
You'll be this Theo then, we've been told of.
Yes, this I am Theo. I assume you are all the group that I am to escort to Lord Tonin?
This is correct. We are the group that are waiting for you, the Theo.
Yes. Looks to Adhair and like, I assume you're Adhair, and looks between FleaBite and Vanguard and says, which one of you is FleaBite?
You really needs to ask?
Yes, I am FleaBite greatest Skaven.
Yes. As told. Anyway, shall we be off? We're very busy today. As he starts making towards the door.
Please. So tell me, what is it you do here for the Lady Kiss?
I'm an admin of sorts. It stops at the door and looks up. What happened to our bell?
You mean Skaven Bow? Mine.
I see. We don't have time for this. And then walks out the door.
Wegner, he seems to be in quite a rush to take us.
Interesting.
How he know FleaBite name?
Yeah,
Probably told him.
It's throughout famous now. It's getting around.
He tells secrets.
it would have been the Lady Kiss. She would have told him of the noble FleaBite, so as he knew of you.
If he tells others, I stab him in back.
We probably best follow. Not as fast as most humans are. Now saunter after him.
Sweats and character sheet.
Theo, please, you are sure that we are able to see this Lord Kentier without the appointments?
Oh. Now, is that a faux pas? I'm asking because you said Lord Cantor.
Did you say Lord Cantor?
He did.
I did say yes.
Did you mean Lord Tanan?
No. Lord Tanan, I've got my notes kind of messed up today.
Cantor Belem is the guy that travelled all the way around the goddamn world and you bumped into him because of shipwreck nonsense. Lord Noah Tunan and his sister Lady Tunan are the people that, govern Evershade. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I have many D&D notes and they've kind of ended up on the same A4 sheet of page.
Well, that is your fault.
I know. I keep saying I rewrite it and I never have.
Terrible. Anyway, what do you actually say to this person? Let's redo the scene. Do you say Cantor or do you say Tanan?
That's a good question. This could be important.
Sorry, Theo, are you sure that we are able to go see this Lord Tinin without appointments?
Well, we will find out.
Is wise just to approach such a powerful person without the appointment.
He's my client at the moment. I'm sure you'd want to know about the box.
Ah, I see. So it is okay to just for you to drop in on him.
Yes.
And tell
As
me,
he seems slightly like, what's the word, plussed? Like, at this like interruption to his like scheduling as he's still writing as he's walking.
so tell me, what is you right?
Work stuff.
Is fun work stuff?
Is work ever fun?
It depends
Aye.
if you like job.
It's often very, very interesting.
Doesn't say anything. Keeps walking.
Vignir, do you wish to try to speak to the Theo? I'm not really getting the through.
Not sure where to get out of him, to be honest with you.
It's true.
I think FleaBite would like try and rush up to next to Theo and pull out his feather-bound book that is blank, and just like hold it and like try and mimic what he's doing on the book.
Oh, I thought you were trying to pickpocket me. I was like, oh, that's bold.
I know. Do you want to do a performance?
I'll be
then,
honest,
FleaBite?
that thought did cross my mind, but
Yeah, FleaBite, give us a performance. We'll see how well your mimicry goes. Suppose at some point we should roll dice, you know.
I don't believe in dice.
So I'll let you.
It's
Great
not good.
opening
I'm
roll.
not gonna lie.
I'll just. Do you want to tell us how this looks, FleaBite?
so I guess like I'm picturing Theo is just like walking forward, you know, writing furiously into the book, and then like FleaBite comes, like tries to come next to him and pulls out this like. Actually, Theo, what sort of book is it? Can you describe the book that Theo has?
Scheduling book, like
It's a
it's
ledger.
a hardcover.
Like a ledger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a functional, normal book.
Yes, yes.
Is that what I'm guessing? It?
As opposed to an unfunctional, abnormal book. Yes.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many of those exist in
So
D&D.
FleaBite pulls out this.
Yeah, there's nothing special about the book, if that's what you're asking. Seemingly.
Yeah, so this is the book that FleaBite has pulled out. And like I'm guessing it's like I feel like it's a big ornate book, and he's like trying to open it, but it's got like a massive binding, and it's like keeps looking up and down at Theo trying to copy it, but it's like not able to actually get the stupid book to open, and probably just ends up bumping into Theo constantly and like probably tripping over him.
At one of your trips, Theo would look back and just kind of like rub his temple for a second and then turn around and keep walking.
Yeah, so off to go see.
Yes, really got under his skin.
Off to see Tonan then. Yeah. Okay. So, where specifically are you taking them, Theo?
To the usual meetup place.
Okay.
Which I assume to be his office.
Sure. So, you head up through Evershade. You pass. Probably the walk's probably quite lengthy, right? You know, it's traveling through most of the city. You get up to the Tonan estate. You know, Theo greets the gateman, who's, you know, I'm not going to name him because then I'll need to have a whole personality for them. So for now, they're just called gateman. And
That could be his name.
Gateman.
John Gateman, yep. And yes, heir to the Gateman fortune. No. So he got led in, and the person you'll be meeting with is the basically the butler, like the suppose technically his title would be called the affairs officer, but it's a butler essentially, dressed very smartly. And this is the person who you normally deal with if you have to, Theo, and it's a Charleston Stobart is his name,
Charleston Stobart.
and he is played by David Warner.
I can't remember who that is.
It's this guy.
I have to change tabs. Oh, I dimly remember who that is.
Yeah. So yeah, Charleston Stobart. Don't ask me why I named them this way. This is just the way it goes. So yeah, you're shown into like a study. Quite a fancy big study, full of books. Yous are seen there by servants. What do you do while you are in said study?
Have we
Look
looked
around the
around?
books.
Yeah.
Yep. Various volumes of many different subjects, quite frankly.
Religious matters?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's something of a theologist. Theologist is. I can't remember what that means, but different. I will peruse some of them.
Yeah.
Shall I roll for peruse books?
It depends. Anything particular that would pull your interest, subject-wise?
Geography.
Not super specific. Yeah, just think he's a priestly sort, and he's interested in other religious practices. So if there's anything in the practice of the region or something like that, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Why don't you roll? I don't know. You can pick a skill. I'm not really fussed what it is. Something appropriate. Culture, for
religion?
example.
Don't
Well,
have culture, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like religion's that important to this particular subject because it's about looking at books, right? So,
Insight,
insight,
Investigation.
perception, investigation. Yeah, like probably.
investigation. You
yeah.
do investigation.
Why not? There we go.
Apparently, I can do it reasonably well as well.
Yeah, you start perusing a book entitled this in some local dialect of Common, right? And so it's like on the outskirts of Evershade. There are obviously smaller villages scattered everywhere, and it's like a dialect from one of those random villages, and it's on the subjects and musings regarding the Storm Mother, is the deity in question.
Can I roll religion? See if I know about the Storm Mother.
You can if you want, yeah, but like I feel like this is a book he's perusing randomly.
Yeah.
So unless you're looking over his shoulder.
In my head, I would see him pull out a book and essentially want to comment on it.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily know what book he's looking at, do you? Do you want to roll perception? We'll see how well you do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want
Glance
to be
over his shoulder.
all up in his grill?
Oof, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of that.
But Vanger, if you want, you can roll. If you want to try and get some.
I'll roll a wee religion. See what I know.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I've got a book now. That might inform me a little bit more.
Yeah, right. It's mostly standard deal. Like you've probably given the Great Father is obviously quite a sky deity himself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlapping sky deity vibes to the Storm Mother. You've probably managed to draw a lot of comparisons between the two, right? I'm sure a lot of theologians would argue that they're the same.
Obviously, all cultures have their own understanding of the Great Father.
Exactly. But this is very, very specifically all the iconography is all very specifically maternal and female. Almost like the storm is what brings the rains, which then feeds the land, which creates the fertile soil with the lightning strikes as well, right? It's all the rebirth kind of cycle, if you will. So yeah, that's the vibes of the Storm Mother. If you want to learn any more, you can ask me a question if you want.
Okay. You said this was sort of in a sort of more local dialect that maybe is more rural.
Yeah, so it's not just as easy to pick up as everybody learns Common somehow. Because
do I get the impression then that this is the sort of major religion around these parts, or that is more of specifically a kind of rural thing?
Yeah,
It
it's definitely more a
was
rural
something.
thing. Definitely more rural. It might be that it is a very local interpretation of just, other things attributed to other gods, or maybe it is indeed a god unto itself that people have, lost maybe the massive following it may have had long ago. But
Is there anything that I might be able to read into, about other practices? Like, so for instance, from what it says about rural practices, can I infer anything about maybe how it differs from the city?
I suppose that not many people recognise religion in the city. Mostly that, but that's
Oh,
interesting. Like people
sorry,
don't really.
Roll20 is now showing that I'm the only person
Same.
there. That's a true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Don't worry about it. So as I said, it is the author of this book, whose name seems to have been rubbed off for some reason.
Okay, that's interesting.
The musings part of it is the fact that they treat the subject matter quite quaintly, right? They imply that it's very nice that they have something to believe in that explains things enough for them to get by. That's kind of the
So you
attitude
can
towards
perhaps
it.
read into between that and the regional dialect that maybe this is someone from out in the boonies that has maybe made it big and is living the city life now and perhaps writing about traditions that they might have some familiarity with but maybe don't want to.
It's you could think that. It's also similar that it could be somebody in the city that's travelled out.
Okay.
Like basically the inverse of that, right? Somebody that's been in the city that travelled out and thought, how quaint is this? Look at them. Let's note down what they think is true. Not the precipitation cycle, but the storm mother looking after them. It's definitely wrote with respect being a secondary feature to the subject matter, and definitely not the primary feature. Yeah, but you can, put the book back or pocket the book if you wish.
No, I'll peruse that for a time.
Mm-hmm. What everybody else in said study.
I would
My
like to have a
ledger.
look through the books, but I'm looking more for maps or local area information kind of books.
Yeah. There's probably a map table in the study. Let's face it, that's cooler, right?
Yeah. Can I totally peruse that table? Like,
Yeah.
looking at all the maps to try and see if I can see maybe anything regarding Barris?
Yeah. Do you want to do a wee investigate check as well?
Investigation. Uh-oh.
There is nothing on the maps. Very specifically nothing on the maps, even hinting at Barris. Even if you saw the word Barris, definitely wasn't there. But no, like it's just there's nothing that even alludes to like anything that isn't relevant to Evershade. It's like Evershade and the surrounding grounds, right? And there's a very loose reference to the surrounding villages that are quite significantly far away. So when I say surrounding, it's we're still talking days of travel.
Mm-hmm. Is there any sign of activity of the maps being in place because of the invasion? Like, is there any sort of
Nah, you wouldn't be able to work that out. It's literally just
Of course
they're
I
all
wouldn't,
just on a
yeah.
table. Yeah, like there isn't a stratagem of the invasion,
Mhm.
or anything
I
like
was
that
like
next to it.
one of those cool kind of battle map tables?
Hotlines and how to resolve them.
But somebody last week did learn that I think it was Kaz, that did learn last week that the invasion was pretty much repelled by the efforts of the nobles when it came knocking on Evershade's door. I think that was information I gave Castellan. Yeah,
Mm.
but obviously Theo's a different person, so. So Cass knows that, but I don't think any of you guys know that. So
See though, see a different.
Is there anything that looks edible?
you define edible.
Probably if you're determined enough.
Is there anything that looks edible to FleaBite? Like, is there food, or is there like wax grapes or anything to that effect?
How'd you roll a d20? We'll see. Yeah. There's probably a bowl of like fake fruit.
I
Potpourri.
love the idea of them having fake fruit in this setting.
Mhm.
It's quite quite amusing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think FleaBite start eating.
Mm-hmm. Done a roll perception for me, FleaBite. Okay.
Damn, these rolls.
It's good, isn't it?
Feels good.
It's good. Enjoy your
Yeah, 2 crit fails so far.
the actual fruit itself is very soft. FYI, yeah, very soft.
Yum, yum, yum. Yes, meat better, but fruit in a pinch.
Yeah.
Adair kind of glances over at FleaBite eating this and just kind of raises an eyebrow, like, "Yes, this is not the strangest thing I've seen, but okay."
It really isn't. Theo, what are you up to in said study?
Focusing on my ledger.
Okay.
You
No,
know, seemingly looking around to
I
see
love
what
it.
everyone else is doing, but apparently seeing absolutely nothing.
I think the reason why you fail your perception check on what book it is because you also then witness somebody pouring through someone's maps that they've clearly laid out in a certain way as they just start piling through them as if they weren't arrenged in any really important order. And then a
As he
rat
once
just
again
eats fruit.
rubs his temple. Quite the distraction.
So yeah, all good stuff, right?
Good stuff.
Any conversations spike up before your I guess host arrives?
Hey,
Not from Theo.
do you, Mr. Theo, whatever was,
Theo
Uh,
Hall, he says.
aye, do you by any chance know anything of this Aris? Did I ask you that already? I don't think I did.
You've
No.
asked Theo nothing, basically.
No, I didn't. I thought I'd barely spoken to him, but I can't. Honestly, you could have told me I said anything last session and I'd have believed you.
You never met Theo last session, so
Yeah, you just met Theo.
Exactly. See, I have no idea what's going on. Clearly.
it's one of those sessions, folks.
Do you by any chance know anything of this Barris?
He would stop what he's doing and close his book and look up at you and say, "And what about Baris would interest you?"
Where it's said to lie, other than that it's allegedly near here.
You just want to know where it is.
Well, I'm not supposing you'll be able to lay it out for me just all nice like that, but my understanding is that the stories tend to place it in this region.
I've heard similar stories. But why is it that you want to know?
Well, we'd tended to head there.
Oh? What's there for that you wish to seek?
I'll glance over at the other two to see how they react to that.
Upon hearing this conversation, Adair would move closer to maybe take part. But if you glance to me like that, I would probably pinch up my like suddenly say, "It is story. It is place of mystery. Who does not want to know what a mystery? To see if the place is real. To actually stand in somewhere that people have never been."
So just some adventure seekers. I see.
Sometimes. Of course, a place of such legends can hold many secrets.
Yes. We've had many of your kind come through here looking for it.
And what is happening to this kind?
I thought there were hardly any of them left.
Your kind of adventure seekers.
So you don't mean the Genesi?
I do not.
Ah,
This
damn
is
it.
the first one I've had the pleasure of meeting.
Not again. I thought for a moment I was finding my family.
I apologize for
Got my
getting your
hopes up.
hopes
The music swells, the tears swell. Yep.
Wagner embraces Adair just a wee hug.
Mhm.
Make Theo feel guilty as fuck.
As he opens up his book almost shyly and goes back to writing in his ledger.
I'll peruse through some of the other books and see if I can find anything specifically relating to local myths and legends, just in case there's anything Barris related there.
Yeah. Do you want to roll perception or investigate again? We'll see how good
Let
your
me
library
see.
search goes.
I seem to have accidentally closed my thingy bobber. There we go. Character sheet. Which one do I want to? Perception. I want to roll perception.
Okay.
Oh no.
Can you roll
I mean,
investigate?
investigation would have been worse.
Roll it anyway and we'll see how bad it would have been. Yep,
See?
you're right. You are correct.
Spells now.
Go on.
Man. Yeah.
Definitely one of those nights.
So you look for a bit, right? Because it isn't really about do you find it or do you not. It's more about how long it takes to have a look through
Yeah.
all the book titles. Like the idea of myths and legends, there's nothing, no book that even is remotely on that subject. So that's weird because usually one of those books creeps into most libraries, right? Things that interest people that could be true, you know, possible adventure books, you could call them. But there's nothing like that here. It's all very like things that people have went out and witnessed, right?
Right, but is there anything that maybe? I mean, I know I don't expect to find it in that role, Ryan. Just to be clear, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. Ask away.
Obviously, there are like sort of sociological or anthropological observations of some of the local villages and what have you, because we've seen that from the book about their
The Storm Mother.
religious
Yep.
beliefs.
Mhm.
Storm Mother. Thank you. And if there are things like that detailing the religious beliefs, I'm not saying that it'll be here is a book, The Myths and Legends, but it might be a cultural study of the villages of blah 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 in the such and such region, you know, anything like that maybe
Like
I could go.
that's the strange thing. No, there's nothing
No,
that even alludes to any of
nothing.
that, and the fact that there isn't is weird.
Yeah.
See this library, is it more I don't want to say is it a library just for show? Because there is information there. Is it a well
Why
used
do you roll
library?
insight?
Insight?
Yeah, we'll just have it on the room. Because I mean, that's kind of the vibe of it, right? What's the
Why don't
vibe
you
of this
roll
place?
out of sight like a rogue?
Oh, Colin. Like, you know, when you were like, maybe I will join the Wednesday game, and I went, that's a good idea. Remember that time? So,
You can't pretend you didn't
Foolishness.
know.
I know, but then you thought, did I know? Or was it was this, you know, the almost Stockholm Syndrome equivalent of 70 odd sessions of Monday that made me just think it'd be a good idea?
Look, you got a roll. It wasn't too bad.
Right, so, Insight 14. Yeah, like, there's enough of a vibe to say this isn't like a functional room, right? For you, Adair? Like, yeah. You've probably been in enough places that you know when something's there for show, I think, based on your roguish
Experience
background.
of-
Yes.
Visiting very fancy homes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is definitely seems like somewhere you would put people you don't really want to get, like, them clued up on you, right? But it looks like a
Mhm.
place you would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a room for show, but won't tell us anything.
Like, there's not even windows in this room. But that's also maybe
Mhm.
because it's a study and the sunlight would damage books.
Yeah.
So,
Or the sunlight would damage the occupant.
are we back on this again? Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Out loud in character.
Oh dear,
No.
I love it. So, yeah.
Because that
But-
would have been a weird nonsense if I shouted that in character suddenly.
Hey,
mean,
there's no windows.
It didn't stop you in 13th Age game session 3, was it? Tap's book. Definitely a vampire.
He looks like a vampire. Though.
And if he looks like a vampire, smells like a vampire, and acts like a vampire, turns out he's not. So, yeah, anyway. What do you do with that information, Adair?
I would probably convey that to the party, but maybe not Theo, because don't know this guy.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I would mention, I would say to them, I believe this room is not one we're really going to get much information from. I believe this is where they put people to make sure they are staying put without, how we say, finding out too much.
Ah, a lobby.
Adair just looks blankly.
Aye, that makes sense. You don't want people digging through too many of the records.
There is no secrets to be found in this room.
There is a rather interesting book about some of the local religious practices, though. I'll show it to him.
Oh, that is nice book of religion. And sorry, I'm not really one for following them.
Oh, no, but I just, the Storm Mother sounds like she may have some aspects to her that might interest someone of your persuasion.
Storm Mother.
Aye, what with you being all air related? The elemental thing. I don't really understand it, to be frank with you.
An eyebrow is raised on Adair's face. He's kind of looking at you like a Vulcan would.
Mhm.
Can I roll? Would it be Arcana for religion?
That would be religion for us.
Do we have religion? Oh, we do.
Well, that's funny.
Or would it be a history? Would it be something I know from the past? Well, do I know anything about the old mother?
What old mother?
Oh no, what was it again?
Storm Mother.
Storm Mother, sorry.
The old mother, that
Aye,
one.
The old mama.
Did you roll religion? I can't see. Let's see.
No,
you didn't.
I was wondering if it would be religion, yeah.
I mean, if you spoke about that, yeah, you can roll. I feel like no.
I know nothing.
Yeah, but you've not really been rural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you aren't particularly having this as a hush-hush conversation, are you? These are pretty much just having it in the lobby, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were.
you can just ask
like-
that,
Yeah. Oh no, I know nothing of this old mama of yours in the book.
You were talking to Theo, right?
I'm just saying that out loud after Wagner
Oh.
gave me the book.
Yeah, you'd be able to hear everyone we're saying.
Yeah.
I was addressing it there, but you'd.
Can I roll religion?
I mean, no, based on that, if you take the book from him and then realize it's the Storm Mother, not the old mama, then yeah.
Oh, I thought that was from the book. I apologize.
That's
No,
just
Adair has a way with names.
No, he doesn't. That's the problem. Oh dear. Okay, yeah. So if you take the book, you can look at it, and then you can.
Oh yeah,
roll
I'd
religion.
hand the book to Theo if he looks interested in it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. He would not show his interests.
Our cat to himself. So yeah.
Take it back off at the other. Well, I thought it was an interesting book anyway.
It is
Go back
strange
to the
that
shelf.
we are traveling to the Evershad, but these villages they were all quiet. No one in them anymore. We did see that from the road, right, Ryan?
There was abandoned farms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, abandoned farms and stuff.
Yep. Those
It
are-
was a touch deserted.
Those were very close though. There were the stuff in that book that obviously Adair clearly never took in, but the thing he would know, Vanger would have a better idea of, is that these Storm Mother worshippers were very they were days away. So they weren't exactly just over the wall, Make sense?
Yes.
So yeah, those places looked abandoned for a while. Not just
Theo.
packed up there.
On way here, farms and things were very abandoned. Wondering where is Evershed getting all supplies from?
He, without really looking up from his book, Theo says, "It is mostly provided from our gracious host, actually.
He is providing what all of Evershade with fresh goods.
Not all of Evershade. It's spread out between the aristocratic families.
Ah, so they are able to strive in the Evershades when the local little, how you say, farming types have a long left home.
Well, the founding family, or the aristocratic families, are the richest ones in town. And yes, they are able to thrive.
Interesting, though. I mean, you can be as rich as you like, you've still got to buy your goods from someone.
Da.
I've never had the occasion to ask.
Ah, well, an interesting question for future.
I think with that, the doors to the study open, and Mr. David Warner walks in. Said very well dressed, very quick stepping as well, in the sense of you can tell anyone that's been in the presence of any kind of like well trained servants, you can definitely tell he's very disciplined that way. Walks in, like almost pirouettes, closes the doors behind him, almost pirouettes again, and says, "Good day," and then looks around and says, "Gentlemen, my name is Mr. Stobart. You wished an audience?"
Theo immediately closes his book, stands up, gives a bow as is customary.
I too bow as he enters and after saying good day.
I'll nod.
FleaBite scratches a load.
Yes, we were hoping to inform Lord Tonin. Had to think of that. Lord Tonin of updates about his request.
Indeed, were you able to procure the item in question? And he's looking
There
directly
were-
at you, like deliberately past the other three.
I actually entirely would assume that. Actually, it would have seemed that there were complications.
So you have
these
failed
three
your
were
task.
witnesses. Kind of winces. These three are the witnesses to what happened.
I see. Please wait here. I will inform Lord Tunan. And then he pirouettes and then he goes to leave.
Niet.
And then, yeah, he does. The doors close.
Theo, we were not actual witnesses to events. We merely find events. We did not witness what happened.
Yes, but witness sounds far better, wouldn't you agree?
Yet, if he asks us what actually happened, because we do not know.
Well,
We
we'll
know.
explain when we get there.
Okay. I am nervous now.
Good enough. Certainly did witness something.
Well, at least we might get actual viewing of the Lord Tenin this way.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I
Yeah.
figured it would be the best way for you three to actually speak to Lord Tonin.
I guess it is possible that he will want to see us as we are the apparent witnesses of what has happened to his package.
Sits back down, opens up his ledger again.
What was that, Vanguard?
But listen, don't be too concerned. I'm sure he won't get too hung up in the exact wording, and even if he does, we did witness something. We witnessed some very strange goings on. We witnessed the evident death of the people carrying it. We've got plenty of information. It might not be.
What he wins.
It might not be exactly what he wants, but we can tell him something.
Da.
And I suspect he might have a better idea of what's happened to it than we do, given it's his package. He's got to have a good idea who might want to intercept it, you know.
It is true. Most men know exactly who wants to intercept their package.
Knew it was coming. You know that. Knew
Yeah,
it was
that's
coming.
ever
Yeah,
since packages been
indeed,
mentioned,
yes.
I had to.
Oh,
That's very true. We all know who our enemies are, except when we don't. But broadly speaking,
And in this town, everyone's an enemy to the family.
well, I suppose that makes it very difficult then for him to know which of his enemies.
Lord Theo, sorry, not Lord. Excuse me, Theo. You seem quite knowledgeable person. Tell me, has the Lord Tinin been seen with a new lady friend, shall we say?
Oh, first off, he says, that's Lord Tonin. It
Yeah,
would be
it's
good
what
for
I
you
say.
to correct that.
Is not what
Aye.
say?
His name is Lord Tonin.
Tidden. Tidden.
Yes. Rumors go that he's marrying. Yeah,
Gonna-
that's all he says.
Do you want to roll and see if you actually know any more?
I thought it wasn't common knowledge.
Not necessarily. Like
I'm pretty.
the fact that he's
okay.
getting married. Yeah.
Okay. What do I roll in this case?
That's a very good question. If only culture was a skill in this game as well. I feel like investigate or perception are probably your best for like a general sense, right?
After that,
Okay, so
22.
Ooh, nice.
yeah, so you know specifically, and only you, not anyone else ever, not even Lord Tanan.
Oh, okay.
But no, like you know, it's a noble lady from a noble house in Torque that has been very carefully brought over, very quietly brought over as well from Torque. And we know this is to keep obviously the power from moving from the Tonan family to any other noble family, so that they can keep the power base with themselves. Need to solidify said power base with a marriage, and other people are very ready to, like, you know, the two next houses down might happily marry together to claim the power off of the Tonans because of how long the Tonans have had it. So it's about goddamn's time they got hitched and actually got to it, as it were. So Lord Tonan's finally found himself a bride. The name of said person, I'll tell you this as well, is a Lady Sarah Balim.
Well, that does not change what Theo says. All he says is, yes, the rumors are that he's getting married.
Tell me, if he is getting married, his sister, the Lady Tunin, how is she feeling about this? Will she be okay with him having new wife who would be powerful?
New wife or a wife, I think is what you mean to say. Yeah.
Yes.
Looks up from his book, kind of confused, and says, "Are you asking if Lady Tonin is jealous of her brother?"
Well,
yeah, dear. Don't know how to do it in the Air Genasi tribes, but
hey, it could be that she is not one who's happy to, you know, sometimes in these lordy families, when one lord takes on wife and his child, other part of family is forgotten about. I was just wondering if that was maybe case for Lady Tinin. Oh, sorry, Tunani.
Tunani.
Not to hear correction. You would have to ask her yourself. Sadly, that's not something I am privy to.
Well,
Feel
maybe
free
if
to ask Lord Tonin himself once he comes in. Or
oh, niet. It's often best not to ask the people direct. It is more Just wondering if you are hearing through how they say the tree vine. This is correct phrase, da?
Ah,
I think with that, the doors open again. And in walks Stobart. And the doors stay open this time, and he stands perfectly in the centre of them and says,
closes his book quickly and stands.
"If you will all follow me, I will direct you to Lord Tunan, who will see you all." He kind of just nods very curtly once, and then pirouettes on the spot, 180, and then starts walking down the hall.
Immediately follows.
I also follow.
Yeah, I'll follow.
FleaBite.
Still finishing my food, but reluctantly follow the rest.
You'll take another apple for the road? Yeah.
Yeah, take like basically take the bowl with. Keeps eating it on the.
Skitters away.
follows.
It's probably vile, but yep, it's good
Can
enough
I
for
roll
FleaBite.
perception to see if I notice he's doing that?
I mean, I don't even think you need to roll. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you could just know.
Is that? Are you enjoying that?
Yes, yes. Food, always good. Must eat, always hungry.
Vanger, you notice that when
see.
he's bit into this apple, the red of the outside of the apple is the same as the red as the inside of the apple.
Does it? It doesn't really look like food, to be honest with you.
Yes, yes. I eat all. I can eat things that you would never think food, but it is always food.
I see. Aye. That seems true enough. Aye. You might want to. You might want to hide that from the Lord, though.
Yes, yes, he will try to steal it. He'll always try to. The lords always try to eat FleaBite food.
If that's how you need to look at it, aye. Let's say it that way.
Vanger, you take the bowl off him and set it on like a nearby like table or something in the hall.
I'm gonna trust them to hide it.
Well, there's the first mistake.
Yeah, but you know, gotta let people make their mistakes. That's how we learn. Or don't. This is often the case.
I mean, yeah. So FleaBite's just going to be like carrying it, trying to like keep it covered by various rags and things, and then try and like surreptitiously take bites out of food items as they're going.
Do you want to, I don't know, stealth check? See how well you're hiding this bowl of not fruit? We'll see how well that goes. If you're not ditching it. Excellent. So it's the equivalent of having like a football up your jersey. Yep.
Subtle.
Perfect. But obviously, given the state of like the rags you wear, FleaBite, there's probably just holes in it that you're leaning through to pull out fruit, or like again, not fruit.
So does he just drop some along the way?
Well, he's got a bowl, right? So I feel like he's doing okay. It's just FleaBite, just how he goes. So yeah, as you're led down the hall, Stobart stops, turns before he opens the doors. Does that thing where he kind of presses up against the doors and then pivots round with his back pressed against them, and then rights himself a bit and stands and says, "You will. You're all new to Evershade, is this correct?" And he looks specifically to the three people that are, new to Evershade.
Very much so.
That is correct.
He looks down at FleaBite.
Like sleight of hand, try and eat one without him seeing.
All straight looking at you.
I mean, I think the answer is no, but you can definitely just, are you going to reply to him or not?
Yeah, it's probably like really obvious. Takes a bite,
Yes, FleaBite, first time here.
I would suggest that you allow Mr. Hall to take the lead in conversations and speak only when directly addressed if it can be helped.
Spoken to?
And he looks down and he nods as if, yes, you get it. And then he looks directly at Theo with a very serious face. Possibly the face in the Discord, you know.
Oh god, he's looking at himself.
And he then just takes like a very sharp inhale of breath, pivots, and then pushes the doors open. It leads into like a big kind of a very kind of big grand reception room, right? There's a huge big fireplace, and there's like logs on the fire crackling away. There's massive crazy velvet big sofas, if you will, like big, like with like metal, probably gold legs to them and such, and backings, or at least gold leafed wood, etc. Very opulent, very wealthy. None of you need to roll perception to immediately notice the giant dragon skull above the fireplace.
Nice.
Yup. And staring into the fire with his arm laying on the mantelpiece for stereotypical dramatic effect, with a poker as he's coercing the fire to continue. Got a man dressed in very fine black and gold trim outfit, but kind of, just below the knee high boots, very tight pants, of course, and a fancy waistcoat, buckles all down his waistcoat, gold buckles, of course, for, how else would people know how wealthy you are?
Mm-hmm.
Big frilly neck, collar thing on his shirt. Kind of long, kind of blondish, hair that looks like it's, been perfectly conditioned all its life, and a kind of slight smirk to the side of his face as you just walk in. Charleston Stobart stops and turns and goes, "May I present to you Lord Noah Twinan?" And then he puts the poker back and then turns round and just looks at everyone. And he kind of smiles and grins, and then he says, "Lord Twinan, this is Theo Hall, the gentleman who was in your employment recently, and these are associates of his." And then he looks directly at you, as in this is Stobart looks directly at you, Theo, and the implication here is introduce these people.
Does a quick bow and begins with this, as you can see, Erd Genasi is Adher. The dwarf is Banger, and the dire rat is FleaBite.
Steven!
What do you say? FleaBite?
You asked?
FleaBite would yell.
Okay.
Skaven.
Good. Okay.
And then also just in FleaBite's mind, he's like, he told me his name.
And you see the grin kind of creep over Lord Tanan's face, and he says, "Well, isn't this an odd pleasure with a bitter aftertaste?" As the smile just goes to like a complete porcelain blank face, and he looks directly at Theo disappointedly, and then we go to break.
Porcelain blank, like
Yeah.
some sort of vampire, perhaps.
You need to move off that train, buddy. Right, so we will come back in 10 minutes' time.
Wouldn't you?
10 minutes' time, probably. And we will see you folks then. BRBs in the chats, and that will put us all on the Be Right With You screen. Okay. Okay, I think we're back. So, welcome back to the Invasion Session 26, Part 2. I am Ryan, the GM, so I am told, and am. It is the 4th of November 2020, and here are some players.
Hi guys, my name is Gregor. I play Adair, an air genasi who has gone through a whole lot of changes, but is soon to become the face of the party. Hopefully not on a wanted poster. That is.
My name's Dylan, and I'm playing as Cass Talon and Theo Hall,
Mhm.
which are both human bards.
Good evening, my name is Alexander, and tonight I will be playing FleaBite the Skaven, who really wanted to just shank Theo in the back at the end there, but held on.
Hello. Good evening. I am Colin. I now have some cheap vanilla ice cream. It's quite good. A coffee, so I'm ready to go. And I will be playing Vanger, who is your. No, he's not your resident anything, because that's the other game that I say that thing. Yeah, watch my shtick here, Ryan. Oh yeah,
Moldy Priest.
cleric druid, musty priest. He's a wandering priest of dwarven weirdness.
Yeah, fair.
There we go.
Yeah, dwarven weirdness. I like it. The scene, as it were, was mostly all pressure on Theo, quite frankly.
Hmm.
Yes. So, how do you respond?
Do you mind reminding me what he said?
I do.
Because I had just introduced everyone, and I do not remember how he responded.
Neither do I, because I ad-libbed all of his dialogue, so...
Perfect.
He said something about it being a nice surprise, which it turned sour or something like that.
Yeah, he said it left a bitter aftertaste, thank you.
Yeah,
That he was excited and very happy that I worked with him.
I don't think he
I
said
remember
that, no. I don't think he said that.
It must have been implied.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's like an arm you've lost now of your character as well. Yeah. Yep.
Theo would say, well, when matters are kept under discretion, complications can happen.
Seems to have stopped to paying attention to you, and he's looking at FleaBite. Very kind of intensely, and he just kind of walks past. Like, let's just assume that Theo's first and Adair's probably second. He walks past both of them and then goes up to FleaBite. He's standing like a foot away from you and looks down. What's FleaBite doing?
Probably.
Besides holding
I
a
mean,
bowl.
this guy is clearly a human,
I mean,
right?
sure. Yeah. Looks like all the other, meat people you have met.
Well, no, he's man things and elf things. There is a difference,
Yeah.
and
he is pretty.
as menacing as this guy is. Well, I mean, I can only see that last one that was shared in the chat.
None of them were shared by me, though. Okay. There's a gift shared by me, but even that's
His
not.
menacing factor is gone down.
That's totally him. That last picture.
Don't mind the sharp teeth.
I'll share a picture of what is clearly an incredibly young person, but it's got the nice hair that I wanted. So I'll share this for the nice hair. Look at that luxury hair.
Shave him.
It will take me a moment for that to.
Yeah, that's okay. It'll be on its way eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's maybe not quite as young as that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think FleaBite is probably a bit spooked. Like there's a guy who is giving off like a high charisma aura or something, and probably like not making eye contact and just looking around and taking a slow bite of wax fruit.
He kneels down. You hear like the creak of like the trousers and the boots. as he kind of like, kneels down in front of you, his long coat behind him kind of like billows out behind him. And he stares at you and goes, "Are you hungry? Would you like something to eat?"
Yes, always hungry. Always eat.
Incredible. As he just stares at you.
I think at that point you'd hear kind of from Adair.
He looks at it and goes, "This is wax food you're eating." Kind of tilts his head at
It
you.
is something food, and something food is always tasty.
He kind of like smiles politely at you, not knowing how to respond to that, and then stands up and like puts like a supportive hand on your shoulder, and turns to Stobart and says, "Mr. Stobart, if you would be so kind as to escort Mr. FleaBite to the kitchens and ensure he is well fed." And he looks back down at you to see some kind of response from you.
Yes, I will eat kitchen whole.
And there's like a grip on your shoulder, like, very, once, and then he lets go. And it's, the way he lets go is almost nudging you towards Stobart. And Stobart says, "If you'll follow me, Mr. FleaBite," and then starts walking out of the room.
I follow Mr. Stobart.
The doors are closed behind them as they leave. And then Tanan turns round to the group, kind of does a very strained smile at everyone, pulls out a handkerchief and just like wipes his hand down. I didn't know whether to feed it to the dogs or mount it above the fireplace. He wipes his hand. Walks over to the fireplace and throws the handkerchief in it. "Sit," he says to everyone as he's staring at the fireplace.
Upon heading to sit down, I'd quickly whisper to Wagner, "Are we sure the FleaBite is going to be okay?"
"Your companion will be fine. Sit. We have
Oh.
much to discuss." You hear from
Thank you.
the
I
crackling
will sit
fire.
down.
"Do you wish anything refreshing?"
Out of character, I really want to ask him for some wine.
No! Stop it!
Wagner loses
I'm
a
not
leg.
going to.
You lose a leg.
wouldn't do that, so I'm not going to, but
Theo speaks up. I believe we're all fine.
Yes, but what you believe and what is in fact true seem to differ these days, do they not, Mr. Hall? And then he turns round and he looks directly at Adair and then to Vanger. He's like, "Are you in need of refreshment?"
Well, my lord, if you are to be partaking in the beverage, then I would join you in this drink.
"I don't think any of the nobles of Evershade can claim to be your lord, Genasi." And he kind of gives you a polite bow.
And he gently nods back, very confused though.
Yeah, because it wasn't unthreatening the way it was said, despite being incredibly polite. What was it? What did you ask him for? Was it anything actually asked? Because I kind of...
I know. It was more just if he's going to partake, I would join him in a beverage, but only if he was going to.
And he kind of turns around and waits for Vanger's response.
a kind offer, but I'm fine, thank you very much.
Then to business, Mr. Hall.
Is he expecting an answer, or is this just...
Yeah, he just stands and
adjustment?
waits. Yeah, he's silhouetted by the fire behind him. If I had to doodle this, which I guess I will, because everybody
Ooh.
loves doodling.
Here, I'm going to step away for just 1 second.
Oh my.
I will be back in like 2.
Well, have 3. So,
Disappears.
it never comes back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Need a sketch page. Okay, so let me just change this so it doesn't blind everyone. Okay, so if I move this over
Blinded
to
by the
here,
sheet.
there we go. So if I had to doodle this, we've got. Let's see, do I have a box I can use? There is draw shape. So this was the room. And then big fireplace. Big
Got
fire.
it back.
Big fire.
I can see that's a big fire.
Doors. Big double doors into the place. Big long couch there. Big long couch there. A slightly shorter couch here. And then there's like a second tier to this room as well. And this place is lined with random like dead animals and such, and as I said, there's like a big dragon skull. I'll just draw it through the wall because why not?
Is there weaponry on the wall?
Oh yeah,
Like-
like you know, swords
Yeah.
and shit like that, and crossbows and
That's his favourite sort of hunting.
or at least somebody's, yeah.
The scene from Ace Ventura. What a lovely room of death you have here.
Yeah. So yeah, and I imagine these are probably sat something like one person there, Theo is probably there, Vanger's probably here, and like Adair, you're probably the other one, right? And
So where did we say? Sorry, I was.
I'll just change your color so that you're what, like some kind of weird teal.
Do you want us to move the
Yeah.
our
What that-
tokens onto?
That's it. Yeah, actually, why not? That's probably better. Why not?
I think I remember how to do that.
Just drag your name onto the screen, I guess.
I didn't mean to do that.
Crap. What the hell?
2 seconds, Theo, I'll get you a token.
Oh, this isn't working. Sorry, my mouse is highlighting everything instead of just clicking and dragging.
I'll see if I can fix that in a second. I need to see if I can get Theo's token first. Because Theo. I'll just make that color, that's good enough. And there. Nearly closed that as well, always good.
There we go.
Where is this? There we go there. That should upload that in a wee second. And the close-up of Theo's face in this particular image is just sad. It's very sad.
Sad?
Yeah. So, Theo, Banger. There. I'll move this couch so it feels more like it's actually.
Like I'm actually sitting on it.
There we go. And I guess I'll put him because he's worth it too.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But Ryan, you used the wrong picture. It's the one above that.
I don't know if it is. Because I feel like if it was, it's going to be several above that with the lollipop, right? These aren't careful.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, yes, there we are. And that's the thing. And so he's standing silhouetted by the fire. There's very little, like, you know, there's occasional like candelabra above. You know, there's like sconces on the walls with lit candles and stuff. But obviously, the major source of light is this fire.
I take it there's no windows in this room either.
No. It's completely lined with stuff on the walls, and like as I said, there's like the floor up is like, for those of you that can see into like the kind of the dimmer section above, it's all books on the second floor.
Cool. Is there stairs to the second floor here, or does it look like access is gained another way that we can't see right now?
Yeah, there's no stairs going up in this room.
Right.
So that kind of implies that access is maybe like another room.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's easier to access if you could, for instance, turn into mist.
Or levitate.
Mist is notoriously bad for books, though. So
No, that's fair. You
Mhm.
generally don't want moisture around books. Yeah.
I just meant the video game. You had to go find pages of books in that Mist game.
All right.
Oh, I didn't. But anyway,
I believe that's mice.
Meist. Yes. Of
Of
Meist and
Meist and
Men.
Men.
Yes.
Well, we both went for that.
Yep. Low hanging.
The lowest.
Oh dear. Anyway, so Theo, we've talked enough for you to have an idea of how to panic RP this.
So is he staring at me or the fire?
Oh yeah, he's staring at you. He turned around and
Yeah.
he's addressing you now. Sorry, Vanguard, your couch is a bit jank. Sorry.
It seems there was a complication with the delivery.
And he just stands staring.
These two have more information on it. I figured it would be appropriate to bring them.
He stares at you like his gaze doesn't move from you.
The Theo, he is telling the truth. We did come across the peoples who were employed to deliver your package, but when we arrived, they were already dead, and then we were set upon by giant bats.
I nod in agreement.
And Mr. Hall, how are you going to rectify this problem?
They have very politely offered to retrieve this package.
I see. So our business engagement is concluded then.
I was planning on joining them, or sending an operative to join them.
Lord Tanan turns to Adair and says, "You're looking to enter my employment, then?"
Well, if you are needing our expert help, then we are.
You have
able to-
expertise? Please, tell me.
Well, I'm quite good with a sword. My colleague here is quite good with the. I really want to just say mold, but I shouldn't.
I have some proficiency with the healing arts, yes.
He's very good healer. And our colleague, the FleaBite, is unbelievable in the battles. He not only hungry when he's not in fight, but when he is in fight, you cannot stop him from eating through the enemy.
And my kitchen, I am to believe.
He have big appetite for such small person.
Yes, don't we all? As he claps his hands together more friendly. It kind of rubs them a bit.
Sorry.
Are you okay there, Colin?
So what kind of fucking thing to say is that?
Hey, this is this guy, right? Hey, Evershade was never not going to be weird. You know this, Colin.
Guys, I'm starting to think he's a vampire.
Don't drink wine. But yes, so it says, however, yes, the failure of Mr. Hall is something I would like rectified as soon as possible. You both are new to Evershade. This is a city under my governing, and therefore I officially welcome you both to Evershade. If you are to enter my employment, this is even more a cause for celebration. Wouldn't you both say?
Of course.
He looks to Vanger.
Celebration, yes. Oh god.
I do not mean to interrupt.
Then
however,
don't,
I wish to correct you.
he says.
Alright.
I don't know if you guys gonna like being corrected. Somehow I just get that feeling from him.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I still say it, but
Yeah.
if he doesn't respond, he doesn't respond.
No, his reply is then don't. That was his reply when you said I don't mean to interrupt. But so do you reply after that, or are you?
I mean, I wouldn't
Okay.
have finished my sentence. Like, I mean to correct you.
He kind of just looks at you with a very odd look on his face. And he says,
Technically,
am I in need of correcting, Mr. Hall?
only in technically, I believe these three are under the employment of my organization at this moment.
He looks at both of them.
Agreed upon.
I can't actually remember.
I believe
FleaBite.
if we can return back to the
The bell.
incident.
FleaBite said that, you would agree to look for the missing box if FleaBite got the bell.
Yeah, FleaBite said that, but
To interrupt, FleaBite said to start looking for the bell.
That's
Yeah,
not
but-
the important.
Yeah, but how Mr. Hall remembers it, it's very different to maybe how FleaBite meant it.
Sign no contracts, but as far as I'm concerned, either way, it's the same thing we're looking for.
that is true. We are working for both of the peoples.
Incorrect. You'd be working for me. Mr. Hall can be employed by you as a subcontractor if required. However, I will be holding you both accountable if you agree to. And he turns round and stops looking between the two of you and looks directly at Mr. Hall. If you both agree to correct his failing. As he stares just blankly at Mr. Hall.
Does his best to hold it.
Hmm.
Will Adair would look towards Wagner like, do we nod in agreement with the Lord, or do we argue Theo's point, kind of thing?
Right, so out of character, here's the problem you're going to have. Vanger couldn't care less about business.
This is kind of what I'm thinking on.
Looks over at Vanguard, looking at a mushroom on his shoulder. It shouldn't be there.
Shit. I believe is in way we will be working, of course, for the Lord. Tune in because, well, let's face it, he's the one who was employing the Lady Kess in the first place. So, if we work direct for him, it might be for our benefits.
Who are you saying that to?
I'm kind of
Just the room in
saying
general, I
it
think.
towards everyone in general, yeah.
A room.
So,
yeah, it's kind of the room.
in that case, Noah, I will lead in and say, Mr. Hall, your employer, Lady Cass? He raises an eyebrow. Are you in league with one of the other noble houses? This was assured that this would not happen.
Cat. He speaks of one of the organization's employees, Castellan,
I see.
which is not part of no family.
Do you have supervisory, and what's the word I'm looking for here, like control over this employee?
Not me directly. That would be the head of this organization, but
Inform them that I wish them to discontinue the employment of this Lady Cass.
I shall do so.
He nods very curtly once, and then turns to Adair. So what say you?
I believe we shall be helping you as quickly as we can. It's just we are here for not direct business with yourself, but we do have a job to be partaking in. But we need to find information whilst here in Evershades for previous job we have undertaken.
What is the details and nature of this job if you are permitted to reveal such to me?
Not really. It is to giving all information, but we are looking for anything to do with a mystical place called the Barris.
He kind of smirks a bit. He says, what would you want with such a mythical place?
Ideally, we are looking to find such a mystical place.
I see. To what end? Merely discovery itself?
Yet, there is other motives, but I'm alas not at liberties to be divulging at this present time.
This is
It-
an unfortunate conversation. And he kind of just looks a bit, like, unamused, right? Like, not like, more just, this is now boring, right? That's the look on his face. Too many words have left his lips that he doesn't care for.
Certainly nothing that should interfere with our business here, though, I wouldn't
Yeah.
think.
And isn't that fortuitous? As he turns round to you, Wagner. And then he says, if you are both successful in this venture for myself, I would be most appreciative. You would both be very welcome at my upcoming wedding.
Oh, congratulations.
Kind of nods and says, forgive me if superstition withholds me from accepting them yet.
Oh, who is lucky lady to be getting wedded to you?
And he smiles and he says, and forgive me again if those details remain with me.
I complete understands, as in he doesn't.
Yeah. Nobles are weird, right? Nobles are weird.
Just one of those ones he's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, sure, you betcha. So, yeah. You may discuss this amongst yourselves, of course. I imagine you have things to correct, as he looks at Theo. And he says, I will return momentarily with refreshments. He says, just very vaguely and absent-mindedly, and he just, like, leaves the room.
Once he leaves, he lets out an exasperated.
Yeah.
I noticed that was a bit of a tense conversation for you there.
Yes. That was my organization trying to break into new ground and seemingly failing.
I'm sorry if I am stepping on toes. It's just I feel he is not the kind of fellow I wish to annoy.
That would be very true.
I'm hoping there's no hard feelings.
No.
Can I? Right.
Business is business.
I wanted to say something there, but I think I maybe should roll perception before I do it. But obviously, you'll be the judge, Ryan. So, what I was going to say was something about him having good hearing, because obviously he noticed what Adair sort of whispered to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, I think that's fine. I don't think you didn't roll for that.
Would I know? Yeah, it'd be fine to know.
I think that's fine. Like,
yeah,
it's.
So I would just say it then. Aye. Not someone I'd want to anger. And good hearing. I just sort of say that, giving a sort of slight nod to Adair, as if to indicate, and let's make sure we don't say anything in this room.
Do you roll insight, Adair? See how much of that you pick up?
I mean, I'm going to say he didn't pick up any of that, but okay. Where's my sheet?
Theo is apparently looking around very confused.
Oh.
So, yeah, you can pick up as much of that as you want, buddy.
I'll pick it up. And I'll just be kind of looking at him like, Kind of look into the upper balcony.
Mm-hmm. Just see like 20 folk you never noticed before staring at you with notebooks. They're here for training, for RP reasons, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I'm a little lost right now.
Okay, do you mean about that joke we just made, or?
All of it?
Okay.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yes. So, what is the last thing that is the not lost part of your brain?
He walked out of the room.
Okay.
That's a short conversation. It's something about whispering and 20 men appearing.
Between Vanger and Adair, there pretty much was a subtle hint from Vanger saying, he had good hearing, so let's be careful what we say in this room. It was the implication of the...
Together.
Yeah.
I got you.
That was mostly just it. The rest was just us musing.
I go here.
Yep, massive dragon skull above the fire. Probably casts beautiful shadows. Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I have control over my token? Or is that asking?
That's asking a lot, so no.
I understand.
In another more accurate way, maybe?
That's okay. I can
There you go.
pinpoint. Never mind. There we go.
Does it work now? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll
Isn't-
stay seated and I'll sort of look up at the dragon skull and say, "I noticed that as well. It's quite the trophy."
Do you think he has killed it himself, or is just trophy?
Dragons are supposed to be gone from the world, right? Out of character.
Yes. Yeah.
How long gone? I need to history roll that.
Yeah, why not?
15.
So... 100 to 50 years ago, right? So,
Okay.
that's a reverse, so 50 to 100 years ago.
So
There's rumours of, like, with you being near the lands of Valeria, that Von Rune killed the last of the dragons.
Okay.
About 50 years ago.
which, whether or not it's true, he would probably have said.
Correct, yeah. Regardless, he has credit for that in Valeria,
Yeah.
regardless
Okay,
of
well,
whether it happened.
I will. I will observe. He'd have to be pretty old for a human then.
Vampire.
Or his, like, entire noble house. Like, the line of men. No.
Yeah, probably an ancestor, but you know.
Or they
equally,
bought
that
it.
ancestor could just be him.
Or they could just have
This
bought
is
it
when we go down the hall and all the portraits are clearly of the same person.
with slightly different ties.
Yeah.
I
This
was going to say different hairstyle, but
this could not possibly be me. It has a purple dye.
look, completely different ancestor.
Anyway, terrible vampire accents aside. And this episode
that
was
was a
sponsored
weird
by the
voice.
Count. Yes. But yeah, it could easily just have been them buying a dragon skull from long ago, right? They are rich.
Also true.
Show off,
So-
right?
I think at this moment Adair would turn to Theo and ask what is in this box. What was this delivery? Like,
Well,
because he
why
knows
don't you?
we're being
Let's have that. Don't tell me it. Ask him it.
Theo, what exactly is he wanting? What is this package that he did not receive? What is this box? What's inside the box?
What's in the box?
I had to.
Sadly, well, I don't say that. The organization was paid to not know.
But how are we to find something that we do not know what is?
So, just for a reminder, they found a empty box, right?
No, they found a wagon devoid of a
Yeah.
box.
Void of a box. Okay, I couldn't remember. And then
Yeah.
I'll just respond to this. Though. Well, that'll be up to your employer.
Hmm. And shall you be joining us in the attempts to find this box?
I certainly will not. I'm not a field operative, but it would be up to our good host. See if he wishes to rehire our organization or goes to thinking and then doesn't say anything else.
And can I ask, how much is your organizations before being paid by the Lord?
That is some amount of confidential.
Ah, I see.
The reason you're asking? Are you asking to see if what you would be getting you paid?
Very
I
much.
can at least assure you that he's going on the presumption that that is the case. That the Lord is very wealthy and pays his people who help him very well.
Hmm.
Seems legit to me, right?
QQ.
So,
Well,
go for it.
no, sorry, I've lost my thoughts.
It's okay. So, FleaBite. You are led down a maze of hallways. Luckily, you're a rat. You're well used to this. Until, you were freed from your testing site.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and also just your mind has, surprisingly good recollection for how many lefts and rights you've taken. So you get led into the kitchens, and immediately, if you're following close with Stobart, you bump into him as he stops suddenly and unexpectedly. You bump into like the back of his legs or whatever. And you just hear him say, "Lady Tunan, I didn't expect you to be in the kitchens. Was there something I could have the servants bring to you?" And then there's enough room if you want to step into the room, FleaBite. Or just poke through his legs.
I think I would like to push through his legs.
Yeah. I think very awkward looking old man fumble as he tries to step back over you. Just, David Warner just like, what? Ugh. As you kind of like walking over like, "I would have moved, Mr. FleaBite," he says, very.
Yes. Where is this kitchen to eat?
And then you just hear like a squee from Lady Tanan across the room. So, FleaBite, you look across the room and there's again, someone not a million miles away from Noah's age, kind of like faded red dress, and like almost like black hair with a slightly kind of like almost purpley violet tint to it. And she just kind of like puts her hands on either side of her face and kind of just like, oh my god, like how cute is this look? And then runs across the kitchen towards you. How does FleaBite deal
Is
with
there
incoming
like a
lady?
counter nearby that FleaBite can quickly jump onto?
There'll be like a big counter in the middle of the room, but kind of like almost a worktop type area, like an island.
Yeah. Like a breakfast bar.
I mean, yeah, but it's a workspace island with cupboards underneath it. Yeah. The kitchen isn't for eating. The kitchen's for preparing. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, then FleaBite jumps onto that.
And then as you do that, like she stops.
Probably like scattering all the
Yeah.
work stuff.
And then she like immediately like stops running down the side of there, and then like turns on the spot and just like smacks both her hands onto the countertop excitedly, like she's caught you. And she goes, "Are you my new pet?"
I foresee this going well.
Wait.
FleaBite is Skaven. Yes.
Is that your name, Skaven? Yes.
FleaBite is Skaven. Yes. Where is kitchen eat?
And then she just looks around, picks up like something that's in a bowl, and just like unfinished dough that was probably like left, sourdough or something. Just picks it up and just hands it to you vaguely.
I mean, it probably would be a fairly quick like snatch from hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been enough time with people that he wouldn't just bite straight to the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So FleaBite's come a long way.
Yeah.
And just grabs it from her hand.
Yep. And then she just like ruffles the top of your head with her hand as you're munching on just floury, horrible dough, I guess. At least this is edible compared to the wax fruit you were eating.
I mean, I was just thinking of putting them together.
It's somehow worse.
And she turns round to Stobart excitedly, and she's like, "Is this brother's gift?" And then Stobart, looking awkward as hell, just, adjusts his collar ever so slightly after having FleaBite run through his legs, and then says, "No, Lady Tunan. This is, I believe, one of the people entering your brother's employment soon. Isn't that correct, Mr. FleaBite?
FleaBite is gift to all.
And then she just claps her hands like, yay! And she goes, I have something shiny for you, Mr. FleaBite.
Shiny.
Come
Yes,
this
it
way, and
can
she puts her hand on like your hand and kind of pulls you off the counter.
Shiny. Is it copper?
Following excited.
Yeah, just we can get you all the copper, and then she kind of half skips as she's walking, like a couple of steps and then a skip, as she goes down this corridor. It's probably quite awkward for you, height-wise, to be kind of pulled along.
Yeah, I was just thinking like how tall is she?
Like, yeah, she's like 5'9", yeah. So
So a fairly tall like woman.
yeah, like pulling you, as you're like, being pulled into like the buffle of the dress, and then kind of just being dragged most of the way, to be honest.
with one hand being dragged and the other hand's trying to put wool and wax into.
Yeah. Putting dough into bowl with wax, yep. And yeah, you're dragged off somewhere. So yeah, we'll check in with you in a second. Back to the lounge, as it were. Anything else you want to say before your host returns?
Mm,
In private.
Do we ask him if he killed the dragon?
Don't, please.
No.
So I want to somehow mention that, like, this is a huge political move I'm assuming it is a huge political move to hire a Ganassi.
I mean, you could point that if you wanted to.
I'm trying to think of how to just casually do it. Like, he's thinking, like, to himself, and then, like, kind of not mumbles but louder, says, that's a good power move, hiring the Ganassi and the new Ganassi to enter town.
You see, Genasi. But what are you meaning?
I love that Adair's correcting him now. I love it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Nice power play.
Oh,
Yep.
Thank you.
my apologies. How do you pronounce it? Janat?
Yeah, soft G.
Stopped you. It's just, I imagine he's planning on using this amount of publicity. It's rare to have, well, it's rare to see one of your kind at all. I assume you are aware of. But I bet you he's planning on using you as a show of power.
I have not experienced this. Most cities I go to, people do this there, but no one has ever tried to use me as a publicity power play. This has not happened to me before.
The Evershade's a very unique place.
Say again, sorry?
Evershade is a very unique place.
It seems to be, but I'm very confused why powerful peoples would be even interested in me.
Politics is all about perception. And if I'm guessing correctly, he is wanting to make people think that he can employ Janati whenever he wishes.
I am seeing what you're saying. I have never thought of this. Hey, Vigner, do you think we can get more money from him this way?
I can't say that I know, but I'm not sure I would particularly.
You could certainly use it to get more information of bars.
Perhaps. But I wouldn't be particularly eager to push for more money. We're told he pays handsomely. Yes.
That is true. But maybe getting more of the information is what we should be trying to focus on.
Yeah. Aye, that follows. Aye, aye.
Hmm.
My only concern with the money side of things, of course, is that if we push too hard.
Then he might not give us the job.
Aye. Aye.
Well, you haven't discussed payment yet. Just let
Is-
that come up naturally when it does.
It's good advice. Thank you, Theo.
This is mildly self-serving, if I'm being honest. But yes, I'm happy to help.
Da. I guess I'll just sit back down and wait.
So we click back to FleaBite, and we find FleaBite is sat in a bedroom on
No.
a four-poster bed where like there's lots of frilly, lacy adornments to everything, and his face is being covered in like white powder.
I mean,
But he's, I mean, as is, I feel like it's being applied with like a brush or something.
Yes. Yep.
And he's probably trying to like really snort it as much as he can, but some of it is still going onto his fur around it. But
Hmm. Yeah, it's very much a case of like, you know, white powdered foundation. Yes. And probably a mix of that and lard to smooth out your hair. To get you looking
yeah, I
somewhat
mean,
presentable.
probably don't need that much.
No.
Just like the grease and slime of FleaBite.
Probably doesn't stop, you know, Lady Tunan. Is it like zeal, I guess? She's excited,
Yep.
and you know, she's somehow coaxed you into you know, formal trousers that are just a tiny bit too short, and you know, a little formal top as well, and a little jacket that goes with it, and it's got a collar and a bow tie. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, would I think maybe like dismiss the mage armor?
Okay,
I'm presuming, yeah, you can just do that as a free.
Yep. Yep, and she's adorned you with basically a little, almost like a page boy outfit, I guess, like a little formal suit, a little bow tie. It's obviously not the best fit because it's probably off of a doll, but you know, yeah, you're put in this. She hands you the gift, and it is a very ugly, gold, like studded collar that has you know, it's mostly just a big collar. In fact, you know, for clearly a dog.
I mean, I think FleaBite would, as she tries to sort of like, I'm presuming she's holding it out, like motioning to put it on.
Yeah.
Is how I'm reading that.
But she's not trying to put it on you forcefully or anything. No, she's very much because this is the gift. Aren't you excited after having dressed you for the said gift?
Yes, yes, and like drape like his tail up towards towards her to put it on.
Yeah. So she like kind of leans forward and then like unbuckles it and then fixes it around your neck.
No, for tail.
And then she clicks it in place. You roll a will save, or a wisdom save, I should say.
I mean, I feel like it's not going to make a difference.
Nice. So you feel like a humming in the back of your mind when this goes on. You can't quite work out why. It's maybe also just because someone's very, very close to you as well. I don't know if FleaBite's able to tell the difference of this is because of the collar or because of there's a very handsy new pet owner on you.
Probably just like the general like ADHD is just probably not that noticeable. There's extra noises and
Yeah, but there's this like weird humming now. And she affixes that on you. Then she stands back. Goes, see? Lovely. And then she like gestures to a mirror next to her.
I think can probably just like glance over.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you imagine. FleaBite, who is now in a suit with a little bow tie that's slightly ill-fitting, and the trousers are a bit too short, and your hair's all whacked back with white powder over your face. Probably not even in any way because of you trying to snort it. So, yeah, with a gold collar that does not go with the outfit at all. Or gold-studded collar, I should say. And she's just so
how
happy.
big is the mirror? Is it like
It's like a big proper full
That was an
full person.
encouraging question.
It's a full person size mirror, yeah.
dang it.
And you can speak out loud and she might have more.
Probably like crawl pad over to it and just like have like a bit of a scratch on the glass just to.
Oh, there's a sound we all want to hear.
I'm sort of imagining one of these like ovular ones.
Sure, yeah,
like,
yeah, it can be.
big
Weirdly, in my
sort of
head, it
like,
was like the one that's flat at the bottom and then curves at the top. But yeah, it can be oval as well. Doesn't matter.
I think the one in Shrek is what I'm thinking now. That
Sure.
basically that.
Somebody once.
And just like sort of motion to see if I can like lift it from the wall.
It's freestanding, so it probably just goes to fall on you as soon as you try and like negotiate with it.
And
But FleaBite's pretty strong, so like you can hold it. Yeah. It's a freestanding mirror.
And I don't know. I feel like just sort of put it down on the floor and just like leave it so that I don't quite have to look at that.
How strong? Sorry, this is an out of character. How strong is FleaBite?
In a out of 20.
Yeah, if you're in a scale of 1 to 20. Or 8
It would be a 14.
14. Okay, wow.
So yeah.
Okay, that's not. She's got. Why are you a world? No, anyway.
Those are the questions. Yes.
FleaBite actually did better on his wisdom save than I was
Yeah.
expecting.
So yeah, I'm gonna stop this now. But yeah.
I feel like all of those look a lot better than FleaBite
Yes.
does.
Yes. I can't quite find dishevelled tuxedo rat.
I think I saw Disheveled Tuxedo Rat at King Pat's.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great band name, yeah. But yes, so FleaBite, you're kind of holding a mirror, I guess. What's the plan here?
Yeah, no, I think I just sort of like realized that FleaBite's not going to be able to take it. It was just a thing in his that grabbed his attention, but you know, it's pretty unwieldy and hard to do anything with. So I'm just sort of like looking around, seeing, slightly concerned what she's going to try and do to him next. But
And she just starts clapping her hands really excitedly.
Yes, FleaBite is greatest.
She kind of goes, "Yes, you're the greatest pet I've ever had." And she just smiles at you.
FleaBite was found in kitchen. Where to eat?
And she says, "Are you still hungry?"
FleaBite always hungry. Must eat.
She goes, "Let's go get you some food then." And then, yeah, she motions towards like the doors that are like double the size of a person in terms of height. Yes.
How old is Lady Tonin?
As I said, she doesn't look that far away from a.
7.
It doesn't look that far away from a how old Noah looks. Like
Actually, 500.
people of like Evershade know that Noah's the oldest of the two. But there's maybe only like 2 or 3 years between them. Yeah.
I think FleaBite would still be carrying the mirror towards the door.
Yeah, like I should do. I think I should get to the door. She goes, "We have to leave that here, silly."
The can only be found without sea glass?
And she looks at you and she says, "Yes," and just smiles excitedly. What we'll do is we'll find this here when we come back for it.
Yes, yes.
And just like drops it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait, it didn't smash it though.
I mean, how, like, FleaBite, do you want to tell me if you drop it in a way that is likely to smash or not?
I mean, I feel like it was being held vertically, and so it would have landed, vertically, and then would it have fallen on its front, like on the glass, or on its back? That's pretty much 50-50.
Well, let's
Either
roll
way,
for it
it's all
then.
matter of
Let's do
falling,
it.
Yeah.
Let's do a d20. We'll see. So 15 to 20, it's fine. Well then.
So that's 7 years, but well,
At
this
least.
world would be different.
Yeah. In terms of freestanding mirrors, actually finding the oval one is apparently quite difficult. According to this search, so we're getting. There we go. Something like this. I'll just share this. It's probably more like this next image
You're
though.
putting Stevie Wonder in my head.
Hey, you're welcome. I was going to say a joke about there was a lot of room, so we fit in easy, but I didn't want to do that because it was quite insulting. So anyway, something like that mirror in the Discord, something quite ornate looking. It just falls and
Just
smashes,
Can.
and she just goes, "Now, FleaBite, that wasn't very nice, but it's okay, let's go." And then just very quickly just doesn't seem to care about it.
I have to
Yes.
stop there to
Find
pull that
kitchen
out.
care. Eat.
Getting a distinct feeling that this one is the flighty one of the two.
I don't know why you're thinking that. And then
I'm just annoyed you didn't pull out a water bottle and spray him. Back to you.
I'd say the height of technology. You will find that in Evershade.
Right.
And she just kind of skips down the corridor as FleaBite, I guess, scampers next to her, running in his tux. So, yeah.
I mean, it would be on all fours as.
That's why I said scampers, yeah. Yeah. So, back to the lounge.
Where
Yeah.
we're having considerably less fun.
Arguably. And Lord Tanan walks back in, and behind him there are I don't know, 12 servants that all just walk in just after him and split off into 2 teams of 6 and go in front of the couches and lay tables down that are all adorned with random cakes and treats and rolls, and basically it's just an entire spread has just been put on as these people turn up, place tables down with different types of drinks and stuff, and then just immediately leave. And the doors close behind them. And this happens in the space of about 15 seconds.
My lord, I see you are quite powerful and important man. I appreciate what you are doing for us.
He just stands there looking impressive.
Try to be less obvious with your flattery. Yeah, it's very powerful and important you are. Look at you.
Yeah, pay me money.
How aggressive you're standing.
I think it
Oh.
would probably be considered rude to detect poison on my food.
Especially after what I just said.
I mean, it's up to you how you want to do. He says, "Please indulge." As he gestures to the many
What has
tables.
he provided? What has he furnished us with?
As I said, various forms of like finger food, I guess, and like cakes and pastry type things and baked goods, and everything's clearly just been made by people.
Didn't he put food in front of me as well, right?
The tables were lined in front of like that. See that entire like area in front of the fire? There were just 12 tables full of different things.
Then I shall partake.
As I said, several of them have like some drinks on them and stuff as well. Like kind of.
I'll take a pastry so as not to seem rude.
My lord, are you not joining us?
I've already eaten. Thank you for the offer, though. You have business to discuss. Business discussed on an empty stomach is ill-formed. Isn't that correct, Mr. Hall?
I would be inclined to agree.
And then he kind of just walks around the couches, like, and stands by the fire.
My lord, we could not help but notice the impressive dragon skill you have above the fair. What is its story, if you do not mind my asking?
Perhaps when we are solid business partners, that is a story we will share in good company. And he smiles at you.
And I would nod back at him. Will,
Theo cries on the inside.
What was that, sorry?
Theo cries on the inside.
And then Lord Tanan then speaks after his smiling at you and says, and hopefully the story will merit a story of yours in return.
I am sure it shall.
Wonderful, he says. And then kind of stands half, like, I guess he's probably the most looking at, like his body's mostly facing Wagner, but he's kind of half at the fire, half at, the group. As he's just kind of waiting until he's eaten. And she's awkwardly sat there with like, a pastry in the hand, and yeah. Good old apple noise as well. Yep. So
not to be rude, I would probably pick up something to munch on. But I don't believe I'm particularly hungry, so I wouldn't have much.
Yeah, we had brunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. We have had brunch. Bloody brunch.
I mean, by now that was probably about an hour and a half or something ago, though. So I mean, arguably you're on lunch now. So.
Oh God! Don't confuse the dare more.
I mean, this world has 2 suns, so who knows how many lunches we get.
Oh God. But yeah, I would just wait for him to speak up about the job. Like, I don't want to be forceful, so I'm just gonna nibble what I've got in front of me, and yeah.
Yep. Anything from Theo or Wagner?
I'll probably eat mine at a higher pace, but kind of want to stretch out just a little bit, so that I don't look like I've just devoured it.
Yeah.
Theo would be doing his best to keep like an at ease persona.
Okay, yeah, just trying to keep yourself mellow. Yeah. I think as this progresses, Lord Tanan then stokes the fire more and the flames kick up a bit more, and then puts the poker back on its little collective stand, and he turns back and says, I trust the refreshments are enjoyed.
Very pleasant, thank you.
You're most welcome.
We appreciate it.
That is very, very good. We're very happy with what we have received.
Speaking of things to receive and a joy therein, this job is our undertaking for me.
Da.
To business. And then as he says that, the doors kick open and all 12 servants immediately come in and just take everything away. And then everything's gone.
They are very well trained.
And he says, they are very well paid.
Ah.
He looks and goes, speaking of payment,
Well, maybe before speaking of payment, we should speak of the job and what exactly is involved.
yes, Mr. Hall here has lost an item dear to me that he was to deliver. I'm sure if he finds his way into your employment during this job, he will be more than willing to share the details of such an item with you.
Ah, so he does know what this item is.
He was the one who took shipment of this item. It is a crate with precious contents, and discretion is not desired but demanded.
Ah, but if we are to be of the subtles and not discussing what the contents might be, how do we know that the box has not been, how we say, ransacked already and contents are gone?
Wouldn't that be unfortunate for your payment?
That would.
Then let us not
This
speak
is-
of it.
I suspect his lordship would know whether or not it had been ransacked on return. So the question whether we could tell or not shouldn't matter too terribly much.
That. Well, is there this package? Is there anything distinctive about the crate that it was travelled in?
Yes, the box itself has a wood-burned insignia on the underside of it for identification purposes. This is how Mr. Theo was able to identify it and then begin its transport. I have my suspicions as to how it has left his... what's the word I'm looking for here? Left his...
Care?
care. Yeah, that'll do.
Here would be
Left his dedicated care. However, my suspicions are not evidence. I would prefer evidence.
Then I believe we are of understanding of not only retrieving this package, but also finding out who is the one who is taking the package from you.
Yes, but the return of the package is more important to me than who stole it at this point in time. I have a wedding to attend and see to the arrangements of. As you can imagine, I do not know if any of you have been married yourselves, but it is quite a lot of work preparing such an event that the entire city will be in attendance to, I am sure, in their way.
See, this is one of these ones I want to red card it because it's too real, man. Too real. I do D&D to get away from that.
This
stuff.
is all for you, buddy.
Your lordship, I understand from what I've heard,
Please, Lord Tonan is fine.
Lord Tanan, I understand then that there are a great number of nobles who might see it to their advantage to interfere with your business. Are there any other avenues you would suggest we follow? Where obviously the most immediate course would be to investigate any nobles who may have interfered in your business, but if there were some other groups you think might be worthy of investigation.
He has been grinning the whole time you've been speaking. And he says, I see that the wisdom of the dwarfs is not exaggerated. I am pleased to discover this.
Very kind.
Very true, it seems. You seem to be on the same path of logic that I am regarding this matter. I would never accuse another noble house of such an act without evidence, however. And he just nods with like closed eyes very
nod back.
politely. Mm-hmm.
Off the record, though. Do you have any leads for us?
I'm sure you're paid well for this information.
Oh.
As he stares at you.
What does that mean?
It
I
means
don't know what he's implying.
he's saying it's your job.
Okay.
Like he's not it's like why would I hire you if I had the information? Is basically what he's saying.
Technically, he's not hiring me anymore, right?
Yeah, but it's still your job. Regardless of whether he's employing you or not, this is what you profess to be.
But he would know who his biggest competitor is.
Yeah, but he's just told Wagner that he's not gonna name
Yeah.
drop anyone because that would be impolite.
True.
Hmm.
So we need to speak to Charleston about that.
Mr. Stobart, yes.
Yes.
Yep, Charleston, you got his name perfect though. I'm so proud of you. You wouldn't believe.
Wait, no, done. No, Charlie. I said Charlie.
Chuck! Chuck the Bard!
Chuck Norris.
Out the party. Yep. So, there we go. Yeah. Anything else anybody wants to bring up to Lord Tanan?
I do want to discuss money, but I'm terrible at negotiating.
You want to be the face of the party though.
Face, not the negotiator.
That's the face.
No, it's not. So, my lord, I'm believing that the matter of money, the payment for job, is important. Tell me, do you have figure in mind?
How much do you think your expertise are worth?
It depends on how long it can take and how you wish to negotiate payment. Will expenses be covered for job, for daily purposes? What about such things as food and board whilst we are in the Evershades? And then the fee for completion is important to discuss as well.
Yes, you are most correct in this. You are already staying in, and he kind of like looks at you, one of our fine establishments, I am told.
Madame Emerald, she is keeping us in her inn.
Kind of nods. He says, "Is it not to your liking, this accommodation?"
Oh, no, is lovely accommodation. Is not sure how long can stay there at current means, shall say.
I see. So you come to me poverty-stricken as well.
Oh, net. It's just, as I say earlier, we do have other purpose for being here.
Then what would it take in a monetary value for you to push aside lesser concerns to bring mine to the forefront?
Oh, I believe, as saying, maybe if food board is taken care of during duration and flat fee per party member on completion of maybe, say, 200 gold piece.
He looks
Each?
at you. He says, "I'm sure that can be arranged. You have 1 week."
Wait. I mean, I have no idea if that's a good or bad deal, but I'm chuffed.
I mean, if it's a good amount for us, and it is a good amount for us, I'd say,
Yeah.
considering like 200 is like the entirety of what I currently have.
What?
Wait,
Jesus.
let me just check that.
Keep in
I
mind,
may
you
be
did
mistaken.
loot some people,
Yeah,
remember?
okay, 238. Like 200
True.
almost doubles me up, and considering the amount that I'd save in food and board, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And that's each. That's not bad at all.
And
Theo weeps on the inside.
he, Lord Tanan says, "You have 1 week, and then it is my wedding. If you are indeed successful in this, you are more than welcome to be honoured guests at my wedding, as this package is very important to be here before the wedding."
I'm just hoping it is not the minister for the ceremony.
Quite. He just says completely flatly.
Shit.
And then, on that note, the doors fly open again, and you just hear a female voice scream, "Brother, thank you so much for the gift!" And then FleaBite's dragged in, stuffing his face full of whatever the hell he's found. A bit of cooked horse or some shit. Like, whatever they've had in the...
Great father,
Kitchen.
what is he?
then she like presents him
It was
very
probably, like,
proudly.
a paper mache horse.
Presents very proudly FleaBite, who's in a little tux with his little bow tie, and his hair's all like powdered, and she just holds him up and smiles. Thank you so much, he's lovely, and it kind of squeezes him, tight like a teddy bear.
Adair in the best way possible, because I believe I just
Yes, FleaBite is lovely.
I believe I would have stood to chat with Noah, my new BFF, but upon seeing FleaBite, I would just sort of turn away a wee bit and just laugh into my hand, just to sort of hide the aspect of, oh god, that's hilarious.
And Lord Tonan says, allow me to introduce my dear sister, Glint Tonan. And he gestures towards her, and she does like a curtsy, holding onto FleaBite with both of her hands wrapped around his waist.
Stands, does a bow, and says it's an honor to meet you.
She just kind of like smiles with her eyes closed, her cheeks kind of like go up into big dimples, and she goes, isn't it? And then Lord Tonan says, then it is agreed, 200 per day. Leave. And then that's where we end the session.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Per day.
Yes.
Oh,
Per day.
nice.
Per day. Per day. I heard it. I've written it. It's canon.
So, what would you like to call the session?
200 per day.
Just in case I forget, yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy FleaBite.
The gift.
The gift. Yeah.
The wedding favor. Because I believe that's what the package is. Something to do with the wedding.
I mean, you could guess that if you wanted to. I wouldn't necessarily say it was true or false at this point.
Native soil. I think I made that joke already. I apologise.
I mean, you've made a lot of vampire jokes.
I have. And
Right, so names in the chat, please. Let's do it.
Try to
Get it
think.
did.
Fancy Flea. Oh, Fancy FleaBite! Yay!
FleaBite is lovely. I mean, FleaBite's got maybe enough to now pose as a noble, right? You've got a lot of money. You've got fancy duds, You could
He's getting in well with the family, so yeah, there's a future bride.
Oh god, it's a double wedding. I mean, it's not.
I would never have expected this at the beginning of this campaign. This is where FleaBite ended, but yeah.
Noble Lord FleaBite, yeah.
Yeah.
Refreshments.
Yeah, refreshments is not bad. Pop it in.
That's a suggestion.
Dragon Skull.
Dragon Skull! Dragon Skull! Dragon Skull! Above the fireplace! Yeah.
It's a bit on the long side, but it does already have its theme song, so I'm kind of liking it.
John Gateman, yep. Sounds like an attorney. At
I'm
law.
not making the joke. I have written above it.
Written above it, I like it. Okay, so I don't see any votes for any of these yet, so vote away, and we'll get our session named.
Oh, fancy FleaBite.
But you know what? I'm gonna give that a little vote, and I'm gonna represent that vote. This.
Nice.
I was too lazy to find one.
Well, I like that FleaBite
Fancy
voted for
FleaBite
double wedding. Yeah, fancy FleaBite wins. I just really like that Alexander voted for double wedding. Thank you. I will pop in fancy
I will
FleaBite.
never anticipate. I never anticipate. That's not what
Sure,
at all what I'm
good.
trying to say. Never accept a wedding related title that doesn't include "It's a nice day for."
So, goals.
Always believe in so.
Right? Anything happen?
Not for me.
Nope.
No, I don't believe I'm
No.
I don't believe I'm the face of the group as yet.
Okay. So,
I think you kind of are, but you know.
oh, he definitely seemed interested in you, right, Lord Tanan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His comment about, I don't
Is
believe.
it more about knowing in your heart that you're the face of the group.
Because if it was, he's already been that for a while.
Sweet.
I mean, I suppose it really depends on how the other two take it when you turn up, right, as well. Because obviously, with our impending new cast members, I feel like that might incur another one that says, take back being the face of the group if you lost it somehow, right? So yeah, I think I'd say that's still in flux at the moment because I feel like
Yeah.
you need, like Adair needs to be braver, right, for that to really come up. I would say you need to like take charge, be proactive,
Yes.
not just the fact that
Trying.
this guy, like not just the fact that this guy seemed quite into you, you know.
I'm a leader of diplomatic. Like I will speak to my team. I'm a team leader
I see.
kind of guy.
So that's not really the face of the group, really, is it? It's going back to the leader of the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, lead from behind. Yes. So,
General of the group.
any of the goals need to change. Please change them now. What doesn't work anymore? What doesn't matter anymore? Or what can be shelved for later? What's more important now?
Can I still save face with Tonin?
Yeah, that seems still relevant to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn more about entering banners remains relevant,
Mhm.
but wonder if the general goal of convincing party to aid the gift is maybe, pushed a little bit further into the
Distance.
long grass. You know,
Mm.
I think Lord Tonin actually, in fact, said, how much will it cost to push all of your other goals into the
Yeah.
distance?
so I'm trying to think what I could put in that place.
Get a wedding gift for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, so get a wedding gift, then it's not FleaBite, and then just actually recover the missing package for Lord Tonin.
I mean,
Yeah, recovering.
uncover, because
I see you want to look
Let me just say-
inside.
have we absolutely decided we're going to give it to him yet?
I
Because
am
we might
sure as
find-
fuck looking in. By
Well,
the way,
we do have find out what the package was, so that could probably change to find out what
Is.
the package.
It was a
is.
fine elm wood package. Yes, elm.
Well,
Write that down. Write that down.
find out what the nature of the contents are.
I'm just like it's going to be a sacrificial sword or something.
Like the sword itself just sacrifices itself. Like, how does that work?
It could be a thing. No, he needs it to like stab his bride on the day, kind of thing. Like,
Do you know how weddings work? Because I fear for your upcoming win. You know, like,
It depends.
oh, we're still planning ours, and I've got all kinds of weird ideas. So it's
And-
cool.
I would suggest putting that in the maybe not pile.
Yeah, Tori already did that.
Yeah,
so it's good.
good. Yeah.
Turns out I'm not allowed to dress up in any other way than just traditional Scottish. But you know, at least that's cool. I still get my skin doing
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You still get stabbing implement. Fucking hell. Anyway, so goals. Alright, we've moved out. I found out the circumstances around the big wedding, e.g. coerced. What are we putting in its place? What's the plan, folks?
That's not the one I meant to. I undo that. That is not the one I meant to. I meant
Very
to
confused.
long grass.
Yeah.
The one about the
The Gith.
yeah. So sorry. That was my inability to look at two things simultaneously. So yeah, I think that's a keeper, but in the place of the Gith one,
I mean, I don't want to say like investigate the other lords because in a way that's a given, kind of.
yes, yeah, it is kind of, isn't it?
you also have to hire my company.
Or not. Yeah.
I feel
Or
like
not.
the goal though.
How much for the company?
I have a bell.
That'll be discussed.
You're not really much of a company anymore. You don't have a doorbell, so
And Lord Tanan did encourage you to fire one of the employees of the company, so.
Yeah, that's weird.
So yeah, What about? Because what else can we do other than Barris and this particular quest? What else can we do? Is there Watchers related stuff we could do?
We would need to contact Lord Balin.
Yeah, Warren Canty.
Yeah, we'd need to contact him about that because that was his
Yeah.
bag, shall we say? But he was very kind of adamant that once
Yeah,
we
he'd
were
be left
there,
to himself. Okay.
Mostly because he doesn't want attention drawn to himself, right? Because what you know is his sister was taken to
Yeah.
Evershade, and yeah.
I mean, on a moral ground, I don't agree with what's happening to his sister. So, do we seek him out to help and be like, "Oi, we've got an in"? And by
And
the
keep
way,
in mind,
he's
you just
paying
don't know. Obviously, Dylan's character knows, but you don't know that it's like Lady Sarah Bellem
us. Mhm.
that is the bride to be. That's just sneaky info man there that knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we still don't have a Scooby about the bride.
So maybe not focusing on the Watchers is good, I would say, because that seems to be Canty's job, right? He's busy doing that. If that comes up, you can definitely loop in with him. Because who knows what our maybe Paladin and maybe Cleric will bring to the table, right? Maybe they've got loads of Watcher-based shit that will bring that to surface. Yeah. Also, the reason why I mentioned the Storm Lord, the Storm Mother, I should say, this week is because one of the Cleric is of the Storm Mother. Yeah. Assuming that still goes ahead.
I feel the goal should involve Christian Stobart in some way.
Wow,
Like,
why are you doing it to me? Why? Why is this my life? Charleston Stobart.
Yeah, that's what I totally said, right?
Charles Stobertson, yeah.
It's Charlie. But yes, I believe the goal might have to involve him. Like, I believe, like, get in close, become friends.
Well, that sounds like a different goal, right? So you've got obviously actually do the job for Lord Tanan, right? There's actually doing that. However you want to break that into multiple goals, that's up to you. But that is an end game, right? In a way of solve that goal for this arc, if you will. Or just ignore it and leave. It's up to you. So if you're going to do that, you could also then try and get in with Mr. Stobart, right? And that could maybe get you more about the Tanans. It's probably not going to help you solve the missing box, though. Otherwise, why would you need other people who just send Stobart to do it?
Yeah.
Right?
I am not sure what to put in the place of that one, but I am certain that one has kind of taken a back seat, so I kind of want to leave it there, but I don't have a good idea to replace it.
And FleaBite, I feel like that's already happened.
Is that something that FleaBite has, or is that something that someone is using to probably like control FleaBite?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see. You know, we'll see. It's a nice gold collar, so yeah, that's a thing. It is, mostly tucked under your shirt. Probably bulges out awkwardly on your little bow tie on top of it. So I don't know what acquire something of value from Lady T is. Her hand in marriage? Is that what we're going for? Yeah. Her hand? Just...
Her handgun?
Yeah.
So like, at first I was thinking steal something from Lady Tanan. But I just sort of want, the magpie within FleaBite is just like, find something good to take from her. And I don't feel like that necklace is FleaBite's.
That seems fair as an assumption. I just don't know what you could do that isn't just stealing something wealthy anyway, right? I don't really see there being a challenge. Is it like trying to steal something of value from Lady T that she really likes but you don't want her to notice? Do you see what I mean? Like that's like a challenging goal at that point. Whereas just taking expensive stuff from the house isn't a goal. Does that make sense, FleaBite? Yeah. So, like, what's the outcome of that goal you wish to achieve? Really? besides have more stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
The steel stuff part.
Yeah. It needs to have more qualifiers, I'm afraid, buddy. I mean, feel free to work on it through the week and let me know. Anything else? Right, so for this blank goal at the top, are we not putting anything related to the do the job for Mr. or should I say Lord Tanan? I nearly detailed him.
My mind's gone blank. I can't think.
Okay,
of
so
good-
let's phrase it this way. What is the job you have just agreed to do?
find the missing package.
There you go.
Yeah, we're just going with that.
Think of those words. Yep. How easy was that?
Cool.
Words. Who's typing that? My fingers on my nose. That
Not
means something. I feel like if we put just find Lord Tunan's package, I mean, we could have done that in that room.
I think that room was contributing.
Yeah, true. Look at everything I have as he stands there with his hands on his hips. Yes.
Majestically. His locks flowing, yes.
Right, pal, what I'm doing with the package.
Silhouettes work wonders. Okay, so find missing package for Tunan. Do we still have learn how to make the Cynthia tea in here? Is that still something we're gonna go with?
If the group has something that I'd rather put in that, I'm very happy for a general goal to change.
Like, what else have we just want to achieve while you're here? What's the like another big step?
I'm trying to think of how to get FleaBite to marry Lady Glint. I mean, I think that should be a party goal.
Just to rid yourselves of them?
It's certainly a thing.
We don't want rid of him. We just want him to get married and settle down, but he can still adventure.
What was that, Dylan? Were you saying something even remotely like a goal?
Boris. Can we do something with that?
Barris?
Like learning more about Barris?
I mean, technically Vanger has that, right?
Yeah,
As his
have
personal
that in
goal.
the mix.
It could go up into general if people wanted to work on it as a team.
I want to work on it, right?
Maybe that's another reason to get your company involved with the group then. Maybe that's a very negotiable rate, that particular one. Yeah, so that can move if need be, if that's something you just want to push to the forefront. You could always just have a very specific goal being, you know.
Just Barris.
Well, no, like it could be more specific for like Theo and or Cass, right? It could be very specific because obviously Cass was fired by Lord Tunan, technically, because Lord Tunan told Theo to tell his supervisors to fire Cass. So, yeah. Besides that, that might also be obviously for save face with Lord Tunan. It's a valid goal for that one. But then you could always have, you know, use this group to learn more about their interests in Barris, right?
Okay.
That could be a goal. If nobody's got anything more pressing, go to the top. Just put, you know, Cass Talan or Cass in front of it. It feels like a reasonable thing to try and approach. I can't wait till you did the last one, you know. I was actually surprised nobody asked about the Von Runes in his presence.
Finger doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I figured. But just because it came up, obviously, because of the Dragon Skull in conversation. Yeah, I figured it might have been a thing. So this is why we have a goals page there, just in case you ever want to ever click back to it occasionally. Just
I'm 90% of the time I'm leaving it on the NPC page when I click back.
I think that's fair. I was very proud of you with some of those names, to be honest. The fact you got Glint as well, I'm so proud of you.
Oh yeah, yep. I've finally started a new A4 sheet, and it's time after how many 26 sessions?
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
Yup. Any other changes to goals? Speak now or forever hold your peace until the end of next session.
Um,
Um,
what do you think of my new goal?
I mean, sure. I feel like it's gonna be interesting.
He wants to break free.
So it's a difficult enough thing to warrant a goal. Interesting.
It's more just a case of when it's just falls off and I say that's not worth XP. That's where I'm gonna start moving with goals now. Yeah. So, so it's interesting. Is this honestly the direction you want to take FleaBite? Nothing else you want to do with FleaBite's fortune or anything in this place? You know, besides double
I
it.
mean, yeah, basically.
I mean, what about anything to do with your bag of holding? You could maybe try and find some magic-y people here.
Okay, I get the impression that getting out of this meeting is going to be tricky for FleaBite.
Yes, I would say so. And maybe that's a better goal.
I feel.
Break free of spooky sister is maybe a better goal.
Run away, run away, run away.
Maybe this is where your illusions will come in handy.
I was looking through my spell list, like, okay, what have I got? What can I try?
Oh dear. I think that's a better one for you to try and rejoin the group. Since you may have noticed that Lord Tanan did not correct the sister at any point when she said thank you for the, the FleaBite.
I mean, I was thinking, okay, there's going to be some dog thing that I have to kill now.
It's actually just she runs an underground dogfighting ring. Yeah. You're the new entry into it and you do really well and you love your new life.
I mean, yeah, fair.
Right. Okay. Is that you happy with break free of spooky sister? I feel like that's going to be the Scooby-Doo part of the episode.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Because arguably that could include the necklace.
Dog.
See? There you go. Okay. Any other goal chat? Going once? Going twice? No more goal chat. Good. Wrap up chat time. So, do you want to start us off, Finger?
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
I'll do that fine. Thank you very much.
welcome.
So, it's a tense session of intrigue and well, I'm not being sarcastic there. Actually, kind of was a session of intrigue because we were kind of trying to wrangle a little bit of information out of our would-be
New patron, I guess.
Employer, yes. Without necessarily giving away too much, and no doubt the same for him. You know, I think it went vice versa, and yeah, that was quite interesting, quite tense. We're sort of getting on to. I feel like we've shifted fully into this plot point now.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it?
This is the marriage arc, the stolen sister wedding arc, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it plans out. It was interesting getting to be. I don't know. I feel like Vanger kind of acts as a bit of a ballast. You know, he's not really too carried away with the whole money business. And it's like, he'll pay as well. We've been told that. That'll be fine. He's obviously quite a personality contrast with the other two.
Somewhat.
So yeah, that was interesting. I always like sort of getting these little bits where the dynamics show the different personalities, where you get to see, the characters get to express who they are through how they react in a situation, and that is a great example of one. Because I see Adair was approaching the money question with what I would describe as limited subtlety. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was funny, and obviously we had some antics going on with our resident rat, with FleaBite, which I'm intrigued to see how plays out because obviously he now seems to have a haunted bangle. That's how I'm describing it, at least. Others may differ.
Collar. That's maybe
And
what I'd use for
yeah,
you.
we've got Theo, who I think is Cass personally.
I did question.
Also
that.
a vampire? Question mark.
No indications of vampirism this far, but I'm always on the lookout.
I mean, they didn't eat the food they served you. That was my first suspicion.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's interesting. Particularly tense for Theo, obviously. Tense in general, but I would say by far the most for Theo, because yeah, it definitely feels like that guy is not pleased with you.
And, like, arguably, you've learned a fair bit about the Tanans, right? How they differ.
Dick.
You think?
We've learned that he's a big old ass. Yeah.
He's very
I don't
interested in,
particularly care for him.
obviously, very interested in the dwarves, very interested in the genasi, not at all interested in a giant rat.
Yeah.
Very
It's
interesting.
interesting that the way he like, you know, he says it as very much a positive thing, but he is very much generalizing. And maybe Vanger doesn't mind that so much because he kind of does it himself a little bit. But you'll notice, you know, he will notice, and I don't know how well the Genasi bit is going to go down, or has gone down, I should say.
So,
So I don't feel like he's going to get on well with us in the long term.
I mean, here's hoping you're wrong, I guess, on that front, but it's probably more interesting.
I mean, we
Your
might find out
suspicions.
something really dodgy about him and decide to shift him back.
I feel like it's just FleaBite's close to that with most people anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah.
FleaBite.
Not necessarily about finding something wrong
Yeah.
first part.
Just- Yeah, that's like for other people to justify. Anything else, buddy?
I think I have spoken my word.
Good. Adair.
So yeah, good game as always. I am intrigued by this Noah, because it's what Colin was saying there about not being bothered by FleaBite. FleaBite's not from this realm, so he knows about Genasi, he knows about dwarf, so he's well educated, but he didn't know anything about FleaBite's people, so he was just like, nah.
That is interesting.
They kind of struck me as, like, she strikes me as, I get anything I want and I just dance around like a blah 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 blah, which doesn't strike me as people that can hold power. Like, he's all about the show of wealth, but he hasn't struck me as the devious lord kind of guy. He's the, look what I can do.
You're
Look
right,
at all
it
my
was the butler the whole time.
Yes. So, I mean, I guess it's a paranoia mind, but I'm like, is there something else in control here? Something. I don't know. It's
Wheels
early
within
days.
wheels, yes.
Indeed.
Like
But no,
Time is a pink triangle.
but no, I like that because it's a game that keeps you guessing. Nothing's obvious, and I like that. So yeah, no, I'm really enjoyed tonight. Didn't get to chat up Cass, but we've got this Theo guy. Who I guess I can get info out of him about Cass.
if Cass is out
Just
of a
what-
job, right? Yeah, I was going to say, if Cass is out of a job, it might need consoling, right?
Adair's already thinking about that, don't worry.
Oh dear, Ethelstad.
No, upon that nasty moment, no. Also, I am soon to be a happily married man, so that, you know, it's all banter.
It was good fun. It was good fun, and obviously
There's nothing I say is banter. I mean
Yeah.
every word of it.
every word of it. Yep. FleaBite,
Plot twist of the century.
right?
That was incredible. It's just like, oh man. At first, actually, like my brain sort of lagged, and I was like, oh, is this Warren Canty's sister? And I I was like, what's this? Then I realized, oh wait, yes, this guy has a sister as well. And that was fun. And like I kind of got that very like a sort of like Adair's saying with the like she's the sort of la di da di da, but I also kind of got that psychotic vibe where it's like la di da di da. Oops, I just pulled out your eyes. So, like, I kind of do fear for FleaBite now more than I did when he was knocked out during that Gith fight. And so I definitely don't feel particularly safe, but I also kind of want to see how far FleaBite can push it and like maybe profit from it. And like I was quite curious with the mirror, like when it dropped, she was just gonna be like crazy, or she's gonna be like, yes, almost like a Thea type, like oh well, da da da, that's just chaos.
Yep, she definitely didn't seem to care.
And but no, I am just liking more Evershade stuff. So like a bit of a comparison for the nerds. When we were in
Runestad.
Runestad, that's it. Yeah, I can remember Von Rune, but I can't remember the city. Runestad felt like the Empire, whereas this feels like Bretonia. And I'll just leave it at that before we get copyright strike.
Not Sylvania.
No, actually, no. I feel like with the more like actual lord feudalism type deal.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I do. I like
The
that.
Karsteins were good rulers. Wow.
No.
Glad.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to more of that. Whether FleaBite actually is ever able to leave this.
I imagine this was the end of FleaBite.
I mean, I'm not. I'm not discounting that possibility.
Either through death by Snoo Snoo, or the wedding, or anything else. I was going to say heavy petting, and I just stopped myself because it was just not. Yeah, oofed. So yeah.
I would thank you never to think this thought or speak it aloud.
Ideally, yes, I would thank myself too. Anything else, FleaBite?
No, I just that completely took me by surprise. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how you were going to take that when you were like just sent away, right? That was just mostly to showcase Lord Tunan, really, a bit more.
And I liked, I appreciated that he was like, weird monster pet thing. Like, you're just going to get in the way of the adults talking, so let's just get you out of here. Like, as a character thing, I did really like that. Even though it was my character that was being shoved out, I thought, it's like, oh.
Why is there an Adair on the main screen? Like, what's this, Adair? What is this? What is it? Huh? Why is it here?
Oh, I have no idea.
Goodbye. Cheeky Adair. Anyway,
Did
sorry.
anyone notice I drew some red eyes and fangs on one of the pages, by the way?
No.
Yes, I did.
Just
I tried not to
green,
notice.
like highlight flashed it a few times just to see.
I must have missed this deliberately. Anything else, FleaBite?
No, that was very, very good.
Excellent. Last but not least, Theo.
I really liked Lord Tonin.
Yeah?
Like, I hated him.
Uh-huh.
But like, I think he's a cool character. Like, I thought you portrayed him really well.
Thank you.
As someone who's very used to being in control of a situation. I'm so disappointed my play with the bell didn't play out. I was like, I thought about it and I thought it was so fucking clever.
I mean, yeah, I think the problem is dealing with FleaBite is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of lost, or like a fool's gambit.
It's a learning curve, though, right? Like, I wouldn't worry about that. Like, this is the early stage of learning how you fit in with this madness, and you never know. FleaBite might not make it out of this arc, so you might not have to worry about that.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked the little politics game. It made me really think about how I should try to, I don't know, spin it.
Yeah, because you're
Okay.
kind of the next step for the party, I guess, in a way, right?
What do you mean?
Well, you are of an information
Oh, yeah.
gathering company, and they need information on who might be, to blame for this event that is distressing poor Lord Noah Tanan.
Mhm.
Yeah, I enjoyed being Lord Tanan. That was quite fun, to be honest, showcasing him for a bit. Like the party I've met, two of them, I should say, FleaBite and Adair, have met a king in the world and a handful of councillors and stuff in the past, and yeah, hopefully they came across all very differently. Von Rune, very specifically unbiased against any kind of perhaps homage character. Hopefully he stood on his own 2 feet. Lord Tanan definitely seemed excited about his wedding in places, right? Like, it definitely seemed as like his tone and everything changed when he talked about his wedding plans and whatnot, and how important it was that all this was resolved beforehand. So, yeah. I'm excited for that too. As I said, perfectly prepared if you just meet these other 2 players and just walk away. So, if that happens, well, just means you've possibly made an enemy of Lord Tanan if you let him down.
Or, I mean, we could, kill him. Maybe.
Yeah, all that. Just kill him. Yeah. Just impersonate him. Just have FleaBite become the new Lord Tanan, right? Through marriage. There you go.
I was going to say marriage.
It's the way to power in Evershed, obviously. But yeah. Anything else you want to add, Dylan?
No, I think that's about it. I'm just excited for what's coming next.
Me too. And what is coming next? Who the hell knows? So,
Who's coming next?
oofed. Oh my. So,
Oh, baby.
speaking of which, goodbye everybody.
Goodbye.